Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Let me know if you can hear me, first of all. Thank you all for tuning in. I see you guys popping up. All right. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Thank you guys for joining in. I am so excited to be here for Oregon. All right. Looks like you guys are tuned in. Awesome. I'm just so excited to be here. We are so excited to start the day. We have some of Oregon's best vendors lined up for you guys, and they are just amazing. So I'm so excited to have you guys talk to them. Be sure to ask them questions in the comments, and they'll be able to answer hopefully everything that you have for them. Let us know where you're from. I'm excited to hear where you guys are from. Today we have Hannah with Hannah Photography. She's going to be your local host today. She's from Medford, Oregon. And I met her a few months ago, actually, and she is just so fun, and she's going to be an awesome host today. So let's see if she's ready. Yeah, she's ready. Okay, let's get this going. And also just a little warning, if something glitches, if we disappear for some reason, just go ahead and refresh the Bridal Talk Facebook page, and we'll be right back with you. But there's always technical difficulties to be expected, obviously. So yeah, just be patient with us, refresh, just the nature of technology. So, all right.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is so exciting. I'm so excited to be your host today. We got so many awesome people, vendors lined up for you. So we're so excited.
Yes. All right, Hannah, I'm going to let you have your little screen here.
Okay, awesome.
Right here.
Okay. Awesome, you guys. So I'm Hannah. I am a wedding and elopement photographer here in Oregon, and I wanted to go over some stuff with you guys today that I go over with all of my couples, and I live by one overriding rule when it comes to kind of planning your wedding and organizing your wedding, and that is that there are no rules. So since there are no rules, I wanted to talk about some wedding day options that you can kind of give or take that will help you know when your photographer should arrive and when they're going to leave. So the first kind of thing that couples can choose to kind of give or take on their wedding day is the detail shots. And the detail shots take about 30 to 45-ish minutes, depending on the venue size and all that fun stuff. Oh, cool. We're getting the slides up here. So if you want to go to the details slide, yeah. So the details kind of like tell the story of where you got married, kind of what pieces were involved in your wedding day, if there's anything super special about your wedding day, who was there, the weather, all of that fun stuff. And it kind of helps frame the story of your wedding day. So this is kind of a great way to capture that. But, for some people, it's just really not the most important thing. And that's okay. If you don't want this saves you about 30-ish minutes on your timeline where you don't need your photographer there, which is awesome. So we'll go to the next slide, which is the getting ready slides. And the getting ready kind of portion of the day really it's a fun time for a photographer because I like this bride on the left-hand side, like super nervous, getting ready to walk down the aisle. The bride in the middle here kind of just like having a moment with her bridesmaids. And then the bride on the right-hand side, last minute scrolling her vows into her notebook. And this is kind of a fun time to capture all these like funny little mishaps. Like the bride on the left, her veil just would not stay on. And so we had all the bridesmaids' hands on her head. And that was just like this moment to me where she was like taking deep breaths, trying to calm herself. Her bridesmaids were working hard. And so the details or the getting ready shots is another great time to really like, again, kind of like frame in that story of your wedding day. But that may not be super, super important, and that's okay too. If you don't want this, this is again like possibly like 2 to 3 hours of your wedding day that you don't need to have a photographer there. But if they are important, if these moments are important, which I love, like for example, this groom on the left-hand side, his grandfather gave him that bolo tie, and you can see him in the middle there, like tightening it up. And that was just such a poignant moment of just like something so special to him. So that's kind of when those moments take place in the wedding day that you'll be surprised you're happy to remember. Like my wedding portraits, some of the getting ready pictures of like me putting my flower girl's dress on, and those are some of my favorite pictures and the favorite memories that I have from that day. So again, that takes about 2 hours. Here's a fun option for when you are getting ready is the wedding party dress reveal. This is especially for my brides. Not that a groom couldn't do a grand reveal, and I encourage that if that's what you want. But if you don't, just for you brides, if you want to reveal your wedding dress, it's a fun way to kind of get some really great reactions from your bridesmaids. And I know that it kind of gives you a boost of confidence right before you walk down the aisle when you see all your friends just going crazy over what you're wearing. So that's just a fun option, but definitely not required. One thing that I really love is the first look. And the first look is really awesome because it kind of helps you get your nerves out, and it gives you too some time alone before you're bombarded with guests and family. And it really honestly changes the structure of the rest of your day if you do or don't have one. Because if you do have one, you can kind of get your bridal party portraits out of the way beforehand, as well as some of your couples portraits out of the way. And that really changes a lot. And it changes a lot for like how you're feeling during the day too. Because like I said, I know I personally was super nervous until I saw my husband for the first time right before the ceremony. So that's super awesome. Another first look option is doing first looks with your parents, which is so sweet, especially because wedding days are sometimes really hard for parents. And this is a great way to kind of show your parents like how much you appreciate them and love them and make them feel special on a day that's kind of difficult because they're watching their little babies grow up and get married. And this is also a great time to kind of give your parents some gifts if you have them, or just give them an extra squeeze and say, hey, I love you. And that takes about 20 minutes added to your timeline if you want it. And then a quick thing that I really want to make sure you guys don't forget when you're doing your timeline is travel time. So a lot of people forget that their venues aren't all inclusive, and you gotta account for the time in between your getting ready space to your ceremony and from your ceremony to your reception. And honestly, I would over plan for this timeline because you can't control traffic and things happen. So super important to kind of account for this time. And then go to the next slide. So this is one for specifically for those of you who choose not to do a first look. I love to recommend you guys schedule about 5 to 10 minutes of quiet time after the ceremony and after family portraits to just take a deep breath together, because you guys just got married and that's huge. And it's so fun to just be able to like look into each other's eyes alone, away from everybody, and realize what you just did, which is huge. So allow yourselves to soak it in and take some time together. And then after quiet time is kind of when I want to talk about doing formal portraits. So bridal party portraits, again, if you do that first look, this is a great time to bundle in the bridal party portraits before the ceremony. But if you opt out of a first look, we're going to kind of lump the bridal party portraits in with family portraits, and that just makes that portrait time a little bit longer after the ceremony. But a great way to get your bridal party kind of out of there quickly is to do that first look, get your bridal party portraits done before, and then after the ceremony, they can go straight to happy hour, mingle with your guests, tell some stories, and have a good time. And that takes about 20 minutes, regardless of if you do it before or after the ceremony. And then the next thing would be family portraits, which I almost always recommend happen immediately after the ceremony for a couple reasons. And the biggest one being that your family will already be all right there because they just watched you get married. And it's super easy to have your officiant just say, hey, immediate family, stick around. We're going to have you in some portraits now, don't go anywhere. And of course, there's always going to be that one uncle that just like wanders off to the bar, but we can find him. It's just much easier to not have to track every single family member down. So doing it right after the ceremony is the best way. And honestly, we can get this done in like 20 minutes, and that's easy peasy. Get that out of the way. And then I want to talk about couples portraits. Again, this goes back to the first look. So if you're having a first look, we can get some of your portraits done before the ceremony, which is great because that means you have more time after the reception or the ceremony to enjoy the reception. But I'm always going to suggest that you allow your photographer to pull you out of the reception for just a minute during golden hour, because that picture on the left-hand side is just so glowy and gorgeous and the light is hitting their skin. That is what I want for every couple. So if you want this as a part of your day, allow an extra 20 minutes during the post-ceremony time to get some glowy, gorgeous pictures, and I swear you won't regret it. But couples pictures overall throughout the day should take about 30 to 45 minutes overall. A fun option to dancing if you don't like dancing, or if you just have like a cocktail hour where you don't really know what to do because guests might just be sitting around hanging out and not knowing each other, sitting at a round table of guests that maybe they've never met before. Having reception games is a fun way to kind of spice things up and get your guests interacting with each other. I had on the next slide, I shot an elopement earlier this year before COVID hit, and this couple played Rage Cage, which I'd never heard of before, but it was like a college drinking game. And honestly, I got the best pictures of them and their guests just playing this rowdy drinking game. And then there's the ever popular shoe game too. But this is just a fun way to kind of get people involved in participating in your wedding. And then the last thing I want to kind of touch on is the bouquet and garter toss. And as far as my weddings go and the weddings I've photographed, this feels like a dying tradition, and I'm okay with that. It's one of those traditions that it's like, there's no really great way to photograph a groom sticking his head up a bride's dress, and that's just me being honest. But if you are a traditionalist and you love this tradition, I want you to do it and I want you to have that. But don't feel bad about cutting out traditions that are commonly associated with weddings, because I'm going to go back to my first point, which is there are no rules. So if you're not into it, cut it out of your day. So that brings me to my last thing. I feel like I've been rambling, but I created these awesome bingo games that will help you figure out how early before your ceremony you need to have your photographer arrive and how late after your ceremony you need to have your photographer stay. So all you have to do is DM me and I'll send you a link so that you can sign up to get these bingo games, and I'll email them to you. And all you have to do is kind of like cross out the things you don't want and then add up the time for the things that you do want. And that'll tell you exactly how long you need to have your photographer there before you actually get married. So that's kind of a fun thing I have to offer, and would love to see some of you guys playing this game. I think it's honestly, if I could have made wedding planning a game for myself, I would have had so much more fun and less stress. So that's kind of just an option. I will say that the dance party portion of the night, it's great to have the photographer there for a little bit, but it gets really repetitive and you don't need a million pictures of people dancing. So think about, unless you're having like some sort of special exit you really don't need your photographer there for tons of time during the reception, but this bingo will help you figure out exactly how much time you need. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I'm offering any of you couples who are watching 20% off. Just message the Bridal Talk when you email me with your inquiry. And I look forward so much to talking with all of you, and have fun today. We're going to have so many awesome vendors giving you so much more advice, and yeah, stay tuned.
Thank you. That was
Yeah. I feel like I kind of just got that all done in one breath, but
no, you're good. We're right on time. I
great.
think Flourish is having a hard time connecting her device.
Oh, okay.
So, does anyone have any questions for Hannah? She can answer questions while we're waiting on that next vendor.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Would love to answer some questions.
Oh, let's see. Something's happening. All right, I'm gonna help her out.
Okay.
And be right there.
Oh my gosh, I totally missed. I totally missed all these. Cami says, to clarify, how do we get the discount? Yes, so when you email me, just tell me that you watched the Bridal Talk, and I will honor the 20% discount. Super easy. Is there a way I can sign up and get one of the bingo games? Yeah, DM me and I will send you a link where you'll enter your email address, and then I will send you the bingo game. And I would love to see pictures of you guys playing it, because I think it's fun. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't even notice all these comments to tell author. Hi, Vanya, Erica, hey, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Do you guys, yeah, overall, are there any like overriding, just kind of wedding planning or wedding timeline questions? That's fine. Give me a shout out.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So tell me favorite part of photographing the day.
Oh, honestly, there's always these moments that happen like right before a bride walks down the aisle, where she's like gathering her emotions. And like whether or not she's being walked down the aisle by her father or someone special, or if she's walking herself down the aisle, there's always this moment where it's like, and for some reason, that exact moment is like my absolute favorite. On top of that, like the father-daughter dances always get me like emotional and crying.
Okay.
I just like, yeah, can't.
She's ready. Do you want to introduce her?
Yes. Let me get my little notes. So Erica is the best. She's one of the most amazing wedding planners that I have. Oh my gosh, that was a massive thunder just now. I hope you guys can't hear that. Yeah, we're storming over here in Oregon. So Erica is a wedding and event planner here in Southern Oregon. She's amazing, and I cannot wait for you to hear about everything she has to offer you. Hi! I can't hear you. Let's see. Is there a way to unmute you? Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Hi!
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in months.
Hugging.
So yeah, Erica is actually, she and I co-lead our local kind of creatives group, and so I love this woman very much.
Oh, Hannah, you're sweet.
And yeah, I just want to kind of chat with you a little bit about events and what you have to offer these brides and grooms.
Well, thank you. Gosh, so I've been in this industry since 2003 and have done weddings and events of all types and all sizes since that time frame. Of course, weddings are my first love and will always
Mhm.
will be. But I love nothing more than when I can handle everything from start to finish with a couple.
Yeah.
So from the very first meeting to helping coordinate bridal showers or a couple's shower, and then of course integrating in the rehearsal dinner, and then of course the big special day. So
Yeah.
um, that's really what I think my business is all about, is being able to relieve some stress, and just treat my couples with the utmost respect and create something lovely for them.
You have a question here. Someone's asking where you are located.
I am located in Southern Oregon, actually based in Central Point, but I have worked everywhere from Portland to Northern California, Healdsburg, Sonoma area. So travel to the coast, Klamath. So, but I'm happy to meet locally, or I can travel to you. But I'm
Yeah.
happy to do anything.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that question. It's nice to have someone
I
chime
know.
in.
I know. Send them in, guys.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
So I kind of want to hear from you, because obviously our 2020 wedding season has been disrailed a little bit, or derailed.
Yes.
So kind of, are there any trends that are happening that you're super excited about kind of bringing into play in the later 2020, 2021 wedding season?
Yeah. So what I have found, a lot of my couples, I've encouraged them to not cancel, just to postpone.
Yeah.
And we start from scratch and figure out how we're going to make their day just as special with a quarter of the number of people, right? So
Yeah.
those type of events are considered what is called a micro wedding. So what's nice about that size is that the wedding couple gets a chance to meet and chat and hug and talk with every single guest that's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, they're a less expensive kind of event, so they're able to do more in terms of the exact catering that they might want to offer. If they needed to cut corners on floral for the large event, they can have every single floral piece that they were interested in. But trend-wise, looking into 2020, the greenery is still very hot, just kind of using greens in every aspect. I'm a big fan of them designing the wedding around their favorite color, how they truly feel. I like nothing more than when a bride wants to incorporate multiple colors and things are bright and fun for a nice summer wedding. But also, if you're a classic bride, oh yeah, see, there's one of my brides from last May.
Hey.
She's beautiful. Yeah. So this actually was an elopement that we did in Medford. And for her, nothing was more important to her than to have just her parents there and her dog. And
Mm-hmm.
so I really tried to create something very special and memorable. Lana Marie Photography was the photographer with this wedding, and she just created the most gorgeous photos for this couple. We did a great job. Yeah. Oh, and there's her little flower girl. Yeah, I
I
know.
love that.
I love to get photos of all aspects of the wedding. So when the photographers share the gallery with me, I love to see it. It helps me relive the entire event. Just makes it really, really special. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Photographers, side note, give your vendors pictures. Okay.
yes, I know. Well, at first I always get permission from my couples I want to make sure that that's
Yeah.
okay, that I'm, getting access to that. But I'm not a photographer. And so I rely heavily on my clients to share that with me so that I can
Absolutely.
also have images of my work. That's important. My cell phone can only do so much.
I know, for real. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And so what kind of services do you offer? I know you and I had a conversation about the difference between a designer, a coordinator, a planner. So like
Yes.
tell us a little bit about like what exactly you have to offer in that regard.
Yeah, so I can operate in all of those details that you described, but there is a very discriminate difference between those as well. So some couples will hire someone just to design, and I actually have a gal that I work with closely that she loves to style and design.
Yeah.
I prefer and do really well in the planning and coordination aspect of that business, being detail oriented, type A personality, you know, one of those OCD individuals. I keep things very much on a timeline. And so if a couple is wanting all of those aspects, either I can operate in all of those areas or I can bring in people that specialize. So I offer everything from the full spectrum package, meaning we work together from the moment that you guys are saying, hey, we've chosen July 2nd as our wedding. We need everything to be put together. And then I coordinate all of your rental visits with any type of vendor. I introduce you to the appropriate photographers and dress designers and all those people that I think would work well for you. And then I'm there all the way through the very last guest leaving on the day of the wedding, the very last cleanup, last garbage bag to go out to garbage, you know, those sort of things. And then I can do everything in between. So if you're feeling like, no, I want to gather my own vendors and I want to put together the team I feel comfortable with, I can come in about 2 months prior to your event and just kind of button everything up, tie it up, make sure that we have all of the contracts signed by the vendors, all the deposits are made, timelines are created, decor maps are done. And then, of course, again, I'm there on the day of to manage the event. And then if that still seems like too much for you, then we can just work together just on the day of the wedding. So I would be there for the rehearsal. And of course, I would coordinate and talk with your vendors beforehand, like you, Hannah, you know, as the photographer, I would reach out to you and say, hey, you know, I'm working with this couple. I understand you are as well. Let's put together a nice timeline together so that things flow well for the couple. You're getting the shots that you need. And then I would reach out to their musician and to their caterers and just put everything together. And then I'd circle all of us in together so that everyone was on the same page for the day of. So
it's so easy. And I've worked with Erica before, and it's just like things that I didn't even know needed to be coordinated, she already had taken care of. So it's like, there's just so much.
That's my job.
It's just so much that goes into a wedding day that you can't even fathom. So it's just like having a coordinator on board to do all that is just so much less stress. So if you're wanting a stress-free wedding, highly recommend a coordinator.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that kind of leads into my next question, which is like, do you handle rentals and coordinate delivery, which I think you kind of touched on, but you basically take over all of that, right?
If a couple wants me to, I'm happy to act as your middleman, as your advocate, as someone that you can trust to make sure that you have 50 forks and 50 knives and spoons. And so I would go over all of your contracts with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that there weren't any holes. So everybody.
We have another question.
Yeah, I saw that question come through. Sorry, I'm not a quick reader.
You're good. So how do you help your clients balance letting go some of the control and still making sure the vision is executed, I think is the big question.
Yeah, no, Caitlin, that's a great question. You know, I see myself as your partner, as your assistant. So while I still want you to be the lead on your own event, it's your event, it's the biggest day of your life thus far, most likely. I'm there for you to lean on and to ask questions and to bounce ideas off of. So especially with someone from out of state, we would do a lot of FaceTime visits and a lot of emails, and I'm an open book. And so if you want to text and if you want to call, all of those things, we would just stay in very close contact. So
perfect.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, our time is up.
Wow.
So
10
quick.
minutes. I didn't think I could fill it, but look at me.
I know. So thank you so much, Erica. And thank you guys for asking questions.
Yes. Thanks, Ingrid.
Absolutely. Now we are waiting for him to enter the studio.
Okay.
So we can, if you want to maybe touch on one more thing, we got some time.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to kind of throw out there before?
So I think the most important tips for a couple, whether I'm working with you or not, is that you make this day about you guys. And there's, as you were saying before, Hannah, there's no right or wrong way to get married and to have this celebration. I say that with every single couple. So you can read article upon article and have all these great ideas, but if something doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. If you don't want to cut the cake, you don't have to. If you don't want to do the dances, don't.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something that you guys can look back on and be proud of and be so thankful that you operated that way.
100%.
And yeah. Speaking of cakes, the new cake is a cheesecake or a cheese tower for 2021.
Ooh,
I know, right up
yes.
my alley.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just a stack of blue cheese rounds? It's going to be amazing.
I did shoot a wedding like that last year, and it was honestly like the highlight of the wedding. People were all about it.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
make your
I
own
mean,
wedding trends, people. Like, yeah, I think that's the number one thing is like just remembering that tradition or not, like you can do it however you want to do it, and then hire someone like Erica to really make your vision come to life, which is so fun to watch.
definitely.
Let's see. Are we still waiting on Rich?
Probably.
On him. Yeah, we're good. You can keep touching on things. You'll see him in the bottom of the screen when he pops up.
Okay, perfect. So you get a little extra time. Is there
Oh, thank
anything, yeah, is there anything that you notice couples often forget when they're trying to plan their wedding or working with a coordinator that you also often have to kind of like touch on?
Yeah. So when I work with you at whatever level or whatever package or whatever you decide, I always give you a checklist. Things to not forget, things to make sure that you have. Did you apply for your marriage license in time? Good, you did that. Are you ready for plan B if it rains? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. You have someone making sure your gifts are put away in a safe place. That's something that I don't do. And I don't want to touch your gifts. I don't want to be responsible for anything that happens. And so I always make sure there's a point person for that.
Awesome.
Your overnight bag, your getting ready attire, all of those things are on the checklist. If you've paid all of your vendors, do you have extra shoes? Because if you're wearing some gorgeous Jimmy Choos, which I love and cherish when my brides are wearing gorgeous shoes, you're not going to wear those all night, especially if you're getting married like at a vineyard or something. You're going to want to have a wedge or a flat to transition into.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Ellen. Oh, thank you. That's a really sweet comment. Yes, I
Okay.
actually worked with Ellen on an event, so that was nice.
Yes.
Thanks for chiming in.
Okay, so I think Richard is here. So again, thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you. All right. Well, have fun, guys.
Yeah,
Take
we'll
care.
chat soon. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. So next we're going to welcome in Rich Templeton. He's with Templeton Productions, sorry. And he is kind of a jack of all trades. He does DJ, wedding video, and a photo booth. So take it away, Rich.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? I guess no response is a good response. I see someone's trying to pop in. I know we're just trying to work through the technology stuff. So happy to be here. So great to have worked with some great vendors that I'm alongside in this digital wedding show, both Hannah and Erica so far, and many to come. As she mentioned, I do DJ, wedding videos, and photo booth. And so I'll just kind of talk through each one a little bit, and hopefully we've got some time for questions if there are any. For the DJ side, I think it's just so important to go through. I think the communication is just one of the most vital components on the front end is getting a DJ, getting somebody who's going to work with you regarding your music and not just run on their own agenda. I've heard of stories like that, and for me, it's not my day. It's all about the bride and the groom and the family, and then we eventually get to party time, and you might have kind of a theme of music where people say, "Hey, I want a lot of country. Can we do a lot of country and classic rock?" Yeah, we can do that. Or I had somebody come to me and say, "I hate country. You play one country song and you're fired." Done. We can do that too. So I think it's good to have an idea, but it's great to have some guidance and coaching. I've been in the industry since 2006. I've muscled my way through my early year or two, and I've got some experience behind me, and I've worked with a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of different kinds of vendors, and I just think that ultimately at the end of the day, when it comes to a DJ, it's giving the bride and groom and the family peace of mind. I think one of the biggest components for me is not just working with them, but also working with the other vendors. You know, we had Hannah as a photographer. We had Erica talk about kind of the organization and whatnot. And a DJ works so hand in hand with the photographer as far as the timeline goes, because they've got the microphone, they're coordinating when people are moving and who's doing what. And so I just think that that's so important for the DJ to be on the right page, and for the DJ to be able to communicate with, you know, be it a planner or on the front end, at least the bride and groom, to know how the flow is intended to go. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the importance on the DJ side. I go through on the music selections and I give them like a Google Docs Excel, if you will, where you can fill in music and whatnot, because you don't always know the music right away. And that way you can fill it in as the time approaches for the big day and mix and match. And just like I believe Hannah was talking about a little bit ago, you might want to omit something like the garter toss. You might want to move some things around, but I give you at least a traditional timeline where you can start filling in those songs that go along with it. And just like before, if any questions pop up, I know it's not as easy for me to see it while I'm live here, so feel free to interrupt me if we need to. But I wanted to jump into the videography side. Wedding videography is so fun. Yeah, there's that thunder rolling, isn't it? It's so fun to have that kind of keepsake. And I believe if Ingrid, we have that quick little video, if we want to roll that, to kind of give kind of a quick little teaser preview. I don't know if it's jittery on other people's end. I didn't know if the audio would play or not, but so you can see these are just kind of some quick little highlights from a handful of weddings that I've had over the past year or so. And you can see those first looks. You can see some of that drone footage, some of that sunset shots, balcony shots. I mean, getting those dancing moments, those really intimate moments with family, the first look with dad, where you have bride and dad. And those are the kinds of memories that are just really neat to have, where you're not just having a keepsake memory. You can go ahead and stop it. You don't have to keep it going. I just wanted kind of people to get an idea there, but it's having a memory of the day, having a memory of your time together with your now new spouse, and of loved ones. You think for years to come, you're going to have that, something to reference, something to just something really special to kind of hang on to and watch on your anniversary, share with others. You know, a lot of times you're not able to invite everybody, especially these days in quarantine time, where we're having more smaller 20-person elopements, at least in these upcoming months. Hopefully, if you're looking at a wedding, you won't have to deal with that in the later months or into next year. But if it is, you know, you do want to keep your wedding guest list down to 50, just because. You have those friends from high school that, you know, maybe just didn't make the guest list, and you can put it up on social media. You can still allow them to enjoy some of the elements of the day without necessarily upping your guest list. And it allows you to keep the memories alive. The day goes super fast. I know for my wedding, it just flew by, and some things I didn't even get a chance to experience. And so having that video, we did have a video for ours, and allowed us to go back and realize some of the things that we didn't even know happened. Some of the people that were there just because we had a ridiculous guest list. And so it's really fun to go back and reference. And before I kill all my time off, just because I know we do have a timeline here, I'll reference the photo booth. You know, it's a great keepsake for your guests. It's something fun they can do. Maybe they don't want to dance. The photo booth that I offer has prints on the spot, so it prints out 2 to 4 2x6 strips that your guests can take right then and there. And what's great is it's extra images for you guys too, the bride and groom, because the digitals all get sent to you, so that you have, because you're not over there, you don't see all the crazy, silly fun that's going on in the photo booth, but you do get the digital, so you can go through all those and see all the ridiculous, crazy activities that happen. And it's an open air booth. So actually we have, I think just a quick little video. Ingrid, do you have that as well? I forgot about that one. Just kind of gives you a quick idea of, you can go ahead and roll it there, of kind of how the photo booth works and the kind of fun that people have behind the scenes there. You know, you have grandma and grandpa coming in there and, you know, maybe they're just really able to let loose a little bit. You got bigger wedding parties because it's open air. It's not what's called a pipe and drape. It's not enclosed. It allows more people to be a part of it. At the end of the day, I always want to make sure the bride and groom have a chance to get in there and have some fun with each other, some of their guests, the brides, the bridal party. And it's great for all ages. So the kids that may not be integrated into some of the other elements of the day, they love it. And it's unlimited prints. So I have some people come back 2, 3, 4, 5 times with different people and walk away with those keepsakes that really go down in the memory books for your guests and for yourself there. So again, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of everything there that I offer. I don't know if there's any questions. I can't really tell from here. But yeah, the DJ service. Oh, thanks, Owen. Photo booths, they're a lot of fun. And I think once you get people integrated into them, people just, they go nuts for it. And the luxury about it open air is it kind of draws people in. It's kind of like that spinning umbrella marketing on the side of the street, because people sitting over the dinner tables look over and they see all the fun that people are having rather than behind a closed drape or anything like that. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. Oh, thanks. Oh, I think you're a great person too. Let's see, how robust is your team for couples to book all your services? So I have people that cover all gamuts because I've done numerous weddings with all 3 services. So great question, because obviously I'm not doing every element myself. I would go nuts. And it's just not feasible. And I want to provide a quality product. So I think the DJ side is something I'll get set up on the early side. And, you know, I facilitate, make sure everything's done there. And I'm the one on the microphone. And because I think that's important that people meet their actual DJ and who they're working with there. For the video, I'm the one coordinating. But I also have another shooter there. So I'm getting all those key shots from get ready to final exit. And everything in between. And so I have somebody facilitating that because I'm not running the sound during the ceremony. Man, it's really rumbling. The key audio, but then obviously there's numerous cameras to be worked during that time. And then I have a photo booth attendant there as well to make sure that there's no issues. People know how to work it. It's pretty intuitive, but I like to have somebody there to make sure everything runs fluidly.
Awesome. That sounds so great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I know this thunderstorm's getting really crazy. I don't think anyone else can hear it, but yeah, it's getting crazy. So awesome. Thanks, Rich. And make sure you guys take advantage below. He's got a little promo going on. So bundle and save. So definitely hit him up if you're looking for some of those money saving tips right now. Okay.
Right, yeah, and obviously reduce the price. So
awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much for hopping on. We're going to move on to our next little lady. I am so excited about this one. We're going to introduce Katrina Munoz Bridal. She is a wedding dress designer here in the Rogue Valley, and she is debuting her own wedding dress line for her 2021 wedding dress line. I think it's just going to be a couple dresses or one, but I'll let her talk about that. But she's debuting it, and I'm so excited. So, do we have?
Okay, let's see. Looks like she's
Kat on.
We're still waiting on her. So I'm gonna do a little giveaway while we wait for her.
Yeah, let's do a giveaway. Perfect.
Okay, so while we wait for the amazing bridal dress designer, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Kalo, but Kalo is a silicone ring company. And I just think it's so important to have like a silicone ring, especially when you get that new fresh bling. It's a great way to preserve and take care of your rings. It's completely silicone. I'm moving, so I packed mine away. I should be actually wearing it. But what it's basically for is to just wear. It's flexible. It's awesome for work, travel, adventures, hiking, all that good stuff, and you don't have the risk of like losing a diamond. So I'm going to be giving one of those away. So I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes, and all you have to do is like this video, follow Ingrid Svare Photography and the Bridal Talk. I'm going to post a little screen so you can get all the information. But basically all you have to do is follow those rules and then you'll be entered to win. And I'm just going to let you pick out whatever color ring you want. And we'll get you guys sent one. So let me find that really quick. Yes. So all you have to do is like this video, follow Ingrid Svare Photography and the Bridal Talk on Instagram, and tell me your favorite wedding colors down below, or tell me your wedding colors down below. All right, we are ready.
There she is. Hey. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you one more time. So again, this is Katrina Munoz, and she is debuting one of her dresses from her own two dresses.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Literally so excited. Two dresses for her very own custom wedding dress line. So go ahead. I am so excited.
So I actually have 3 dresses here today. So the first one I am going to show you is the Amanda. And why it's called the Amanda is this actually came from a bride. I designed it specifically for her. I love, love, love this dress. There's a couple of things that are so amazing about it. So it has this gorgeous eyelash lace, sleeves, and it has like this amazing slit. I'm all about showing a little bit of legs. So that one is the Amanda. I can't see you anymore, Hannah. So hopefully you guys are still there. But I am also at Hummingbird Estate. So I am walking through one of their rooms, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So in each room, I have something different. So I'm going to show you little bits of each, and then we'll go back and you guys can ask questions or whatever else. Now, the next dress I'm going to show you is actually a dress from Forever Yours Bridal Boutique. Oh, thanks, Lauren. This dress is from Forever Yours Bridal Boutique. It is a Justin Alexander. And I'm showing you this because I don't just design dresses, I do alterations as well. So I love this dress, but when this dress comes to me, very often, this right here is way too wide. So I will bring that in. And very often brides are putting flutter sleeves on these, excuse me, on these dresses. So that is just a really fun thing. But the one that I really, really, really wanted to show you, this dress does not have a name yet. I didn't name it yet because I normally name it after the bride, with my very first bride that purchases it. So here you go. This, let me see if I can get it in here really well. This is my brand new dress, yet to be named. It has these beautiful, really soft chiffon sleeves. This underlay is an organza. And the great thing about this dress is the underlay can be changed. It can be different. You can do a sweetheart. Oh, thank you, Hannah. You can do a sweetheart. You can keep it as it is, just however you want it. And let me bring you in on some of this detailing. So all of this is hand beaded Swarovski crystals with glass bugle beads. Each one of these large flowers is different. So I'm going to bring you around. It's completely beaded. Let me see if I can get you. There we go. And it's just a really soft, really wonderful, just kind of a romantic dress. But I am just so excited to show you guys. I'm going to be posting more pictures of it, but I wanted it to debut on here. I thought this was just such a special time to do this. So I'm so excited to actually be on here with you guys. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm just so excited about it.
It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. So somebody just asked if I want a completely custom dress that is that something you could create for me?
Yes, absolutely. So I specialize in overhauls when you go and purchase a dress and then I can change it. But if you want a completely custom dress, that is what the Amanda is, this first dress that I showed. So when I was starting my line, Amanda, who is going to be part of my little giveaway over on my Instagram account, this dress was custom made specifically for her. So she actually helps me take care of my skin. She's an amazing esthetician. And she has done my eyelashes for years. But she chose this eyelash lace, which I thought was just so incredibly sweet and just very much reminds me of her. So the eyelash lace is also down on the hem, but this is a completely 100% custom dress. She took something that I had sketched that was going into my line and she made it hers. So let me also show you. This was a very important part of the dress that she wanted, was this keyhole back. And it has this material right down low, but then the eyelash lace comes up above. So when you have it on your skin, it just looks like this lace is tattooed on your skin. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the fabric is like butter. It is so comfortable and wonderful. I love it. But yes, I can absolutely design something specifically for you. Oh, Leslie, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Okay, Leslie that just commented is my very best friend. So thanks, girl. But yeah, so that is the Amanda. Show some more on it.
While we're waiting for the next vendor to pop up, if you have any questions, guys, leave a question. This is an awesome opportunity to be talking to a designer. This is amazing. Oh, looks like we have a question right here.
Perfect.
You see that?
How do you determine prices such as alterations, customizing a dress that I already bought? Oh, that's a great question. So 100%, or the first consultation is always free. And it's hard to say exactly what the alteration cost will be until I see the dress. So that's a great question. It all depends on how much time it's going to take to alter that dress. So if it's something like a tailoring, a hem, and a bustle, which are the three most common alterations, then it's a little bit easier for me to quote. But very often I need to see the dress in order to give you a quote. So great question, Kayla. Thank you. I'm going to bring you back in here. So Ingrid, if you're still there, I don't know how much time I have left, but I do something on my Instagram called a thankful giveaway. And I wanted to maybe do one of those today for the people that are on. Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I missed you, Ingrid.
No, yeah. Can you hear me?
Also, I wanted to tell you guys about my giveaway. I am going to be giving away $100 off to 5 brides for your alteration, your wedding dress alteration. But the grand prize winner is going to win not just the $100 off from me. There's going to be $200 gift certificate from Forever Yours Bridal. And that's that Justin Alexander that I showed you in there. So $200 off a wedding dress purchase. So even you could get this one for $200 off. A $200 off Flourish Wedding Planning, which Erica was just on here. She is amazing. You guys, I just love her. A bottle of wine from Hummingbird Estate, which I'm here right now. Their vignette is my favorite vignette in this valley. I love, love, love it. And then a pre-wedding facial from Amanda Rose Aesthetics. And this is all on my Instagram, all the information you can find on my Instagram. And Amanda Rose is the one that this dress was designed for. So she's going to be giving you a free pre-wedding facial. So $100 from me, $200 from Forever Yours Bridal, $200 from Flourish Wedding Event, a bottle of wine from Hummingbird Estate, and then the facial from Amanda Rose, which this package is absolutely amazing for brides. But if you are maybe an aunt or a friend of somebody who is getting married and you decide, I think I want the bottle of wine and the facial, but then you gift everything else, that's totally okay too. So do I have any more questions? Okay. Can you give a quote of photos? You don't need to feel and see the fabric. So can I give a quote for a dress from the photos? Is that what you're asking, Laura? I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. But it is, if you're asking if I can give a quote on a wedding dress off of photos of fabric, it would be a little bit, to alter. Yeah, I have given rough estimates. It's hard to give a full quote through pictures because sometimes the lining is different. Sometimes there's something called horsehair in the hem, and sometimes photos just don't show that. But yes, absolutely. I'm more than happy to give a quote just through photos, even a FaceTime. Yeah, that's a great question. How do we win the package? Melissa, good question. So you win the package by going over to my Instagram, and there is just a little graphic there, and I have all the information below on how you can enter to win.
That is seriously the best giveaway. Thank you for facilitating that. I think someone's going to be so lucky to win that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Kat. The dress is so gorgeous. Seriously.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to see it on someone.
And this dress is actually a prototype. So it is going out June I think it's 26th or 27th, for a stylized shoot
Oh my
with
gosh.
Katie Hernandez.
Oh,
so
yes.
guys, be watching for that. So photographers, I am loaning this out for stylized shoots because it's my photo prototype. Good Lord. So Hannah, we're going to have to talk.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk after this
I love
for
it.
sure.
I
Okay.
love
Love
it.
you. Have a good
Love
rest
you,
of your day. Okay. Awesome, you guys. Okay. So next up, Stephanie, what's her IG? It's on the, should be on the, oh, I will post it in the comments in just a minute, but first I'm leaving it
right here one more time. You can see it in the banner, everybody.
perfect. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Go down to the little banner below, Katrina Munoz _bridal. There you go. That's how we enter into that awesome giveaway. Okay. So next up, we've got Lilies and Horns. This is going to be Jade of Lily and Horn Photography. She has been working in the Pacific Northwest for about 8 years, and she's the go-to photographer for creating super intuitive, intentional, and super inspired work. And it's just from the heart, really. She just does such a great job of capturing all those moments, and she does weddings, elopements, couples, and intimate sessions. So take it away, Jade.
Hey, Hannah. Thank you so much for that wonderful intro. I just want to preface my little 10 minutes here with everybody to say a huge thank you to Hannah of Hannah B Photography and Ingrid as well from the Bridal Talk. You guys have facilitated such an amazing event for our brides to really bring their wedding dreams to fruition. And I'm really stoked to be here. A couple of the things that I'm going to be going over is that I have launched my brand new website. I have a local elopement package launch that I'm doing, plus this crazy, amazing giveaway that even I'm surprised and super excited about. So I'm going to have you guys stick around until the end to get into that. But to build on Hannah's lovely introduction, my heart's calling is to create that inspired and intuitive and intentional work for couples, families, and women so that they can really celebrate themselves and celebrate their love. And I do this by holding a very connective and accepting space for them. And I think it would be just way too simple for me to say that I'm just a photographer. I am also an artist, and I want to bring your love and your beauty into the visual field. That is my sole purpose. So Hannah, if you wouldn't mind showing those couple promo slides that I have for this incredible local elopement special that I'm hosting with oh, hi Ingrid.
I'm going to get those real quick. Hold on just a minute.
Okay. So the breakdown of this promo is that myself and one of the most amazing wedding floral creators in Southern Oregon have teamed up to offer this to our brides. And basically I'm going to get into it here in a minute, but we're having to pivot due to COVID because let's be real, shit got crazy. And people are starting to realize that the initial wedding dream might not be what comes to fruition. But between the two of you, myself, and this wonderful florist that I'm working with, we will be able to get you the most amazing experience that doesn't detract from what you originally had planned. Basically, this special is cutting the fat, and it's keeping the most essential part of your wedding, which is, getting married to the person that you love. People don't have weddings to have a party. They have weddings to celebrate their love. So we're making sure that we've distilled this option down so that you can still, at the end of the day, be married to your person. You can go ahead and scroll to the next slide for the full day as well, just so people can get another photo show there of mine, because I'm super proud of that one as well. And I would like to just know in the comments for everybody who's here and is watching, go ahead and drop a comment if you had ever envisioned having an elopement for your day. So it can either be a yes or a no, but I really love to know if that's something that was inherent to your original dream, or if you have now become open to the idea of shifting along with all the changes that COVID is bringing. Oh my gosh, thank you, Sonia. You're so sweet. All right, so I think let's go ahead and cue my lovely slideshow so that I can kind of get in to a few more of the points that I'm going to be building on here. And also, I don't know if we got the message through, but it does have sound and we don't have to play it because it will be kind of choppy. I'm not a videographer, guys, I'm a photographer. So let's get into what a local elopement really is. There is a ton of misconceptions about what an elopement is, and many of them are that you have to have just a ton of dough to fly to the Amalfi Coast somewhere, or that you're bailing out to Vegas and you're getting married in a drive-through chapel. What really is the fact of the matter is that an elopement is not any one thing.
Is it working?
I think so. It started pretty quick, but I think it's right where we need it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ingrid. So basically, an elopement is not any one thing. It really is just what your vision is and bringing your true heart's calling to realization in your wedding photos. And a local elopement is ideal for couples who really don't want to let COVID get them down. So if you were to have an elopement, I'm going to have you guys drop a couple more comments. I want to know, where would you go? I mean, we live in one of the most amazing places geographically on the planet. We've got the redwoods, we've got the cliffs at the coast, we have Crater Lake, we have Mount Hood. I mean, the options are endless. So go ahead and let me know where you could imagine saying your vows. And the thing that I love about elopements is that they're so accessible. Really what it's doing is it's enabling my couples to know that you can still invest in your love without feeling like you're missing out on anything. The best part of a smaller wedding that I've found through all the years that I've been photographing and working with couples is that you really are able to instill yourself and your guys' love into your day because it's just so much more intentional. And I always hear from previous brides that with the more traditional weddings that have a lot of input from family and friends, that they end up signing up to do things at their wedding that don't necessarily resonate with them. And I can really back Hannah up on this when she says that it's your wedding. It's no one else's wedding. There are no rules. You have to do what's true to you so that you remember the day in the best light possible. So basically, my bottom line is that elopements really empower you to have a wedding that reflects your love and that is authentically you. And it prioritizes your goal, which is getting married to your fiance, right? Without breaking the bank. And that's the biggest part that I'm touching on today, especially with my local elopement special that I'm running, being able to host basically an entire wedding for roughly 10% of what the average Oregon wedding costs, which is around $20,000. So for $2,000 or less, I'll be able to host those options for you. Oh, and before I forget, I also just became ordained, you guys. So that also really helps you cut corners and some expenses there too. So once we figure out where you want to get married, I can get you married. And I'm so excited. I think I'm going to put up a Facebook post. I just want to party about it. At the end of the day, life is really short. And the biggest gift that COVID is giving us is knowing that we have the chance to cherish everybody and the people that we love right here and right now. And it's for the couples who want to get married and don't want to wait another second. With all of that being said, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. I am going to go over my giveaway. I'm so excited. Sorry, I'm so strange. My strangeness comes free of charge, by the way. I just thought I'd let everybody know. I don't make you pay any extra for that. But my giveaway is basically my wedding photography elopement package for free. You're going to get a whole day with me and all the planning bits that I include in my packages for free. I'm going to release some of that details here on my social media, but basically you just need to like my Facebook, like my Instagram, and tell me in a direct message a place that is really, really special to you and your fiance, and why it's special to you, and where that place is in Southern Oregon, Northern California, anywhere within 200 miles of Medford, Oregon. And I think that is really it. Hannah, I don't know, I haven't been able to pay much attention to any questions coming in. Is there anything extra I can cover?
You got a whole bunch of compliments, which is awesome.
Thank
I
you.
don't see any questions yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But just a whole bunch of praise for you. So that's amazing. But yeah, that was awesome. Do you have anything else, or do we have Ingrid, do we have the next person, or does Jade have a couple more minutes to kind of go over anything?
Yeah, she's ready to go.
Okay, so we're on to Ellen then.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
hosting, and I look
Jade.
forward
That
to
was
seeing
amazing.
everybody
Thank you
coming.
so much. Yeah. Awesome, you guys. So next I'm going to introduce Ellen, and she is with doTERRA Essential Oils, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about what she has to offer with that for your wedding.
Hello, good morning, Oregon brides. I'm Ellen, and I'm just so thrilled to be here. So as Hannah said before, I'm with doTERRA Essential Oils, and I just love sharing the information that I've learned over the last few years with doTERRA with people, and I've been researching a lot about which essential oils can help brides and grooms before, during, and after their wedding day. So that's really what I'm going to be talking about today. Oh, thank you for that. So I've been with doTERRA about 3 years, and I teach classes. I teach classes on Zoom. I love doing private consultations with people to help them transition to using oils in their daily routines. And I also, and this gives me a lot of joy, I also enjoy creating custom blends, like custom fragrances, for people who are looking to transition from perfume to something non-toxic, something natural, something that is totally unique to them. So those are really the offerings that I have. But I really just enjoy teaching about the power of plants in general. It gives me a lot of a joy, and it gives me a lot of excitement. So, oh, thank you. That's perfect. So when I was thinking about what to present to you today, I sat down and I really made this list of things that specifically Oregon brides might struggle with, right? So most brides get married between June and September of the year, normally, on a normal year. And those months tend to be super hot. There are a lot of stunning outdoor weddings that have, you want to keep bugs away. You don't want to invite mosquitoes to your wedding. Nobody wants that. So there are all of these practical uses for oils at your wedding. So preventing overheating on a hot day, using oils to solve issues like indigestion and bloating. It's not glamorous, right? But none of us want to feel bloated on your wedding day. It's not good. And of course, the emotional aspects of getting married. I helped one of my best friends from growing up plan her wedding a few years ago. And I really commend all of you for the work that you're doing, because I had no idea some of the things that went into planning a wedding. There are so many details, so many specifics to that. And once I knew that, I was like, wow, there are so many facets to this planning process. So using oils to help you ease frustration, irritation, the best laid plans can go awry. And it's all about your attitude, all about how you react to things when they don't go perfectly. Using oils for confidence, that's huge. Public speaking, it's huge. Using oils before you speak to a crowd is really important. and of course, something to diffuse when you're getting ready for your big day. And definitely using oils to create custom blends for your bridesmaids, for your groomsmen, and for maybe even your guests as a whole, like creating something new and interesting as a gift. I know that at some point when I get married, I would love to make something custom for my attendees. Oh, perfect. Thank you. So, of course, I would want to dive into each and every one of those things. But please reach out to me if you want to learn more about any of those things that you think maybe will be affecting you on your wedding day. But I just want to share my top 5 oils for brides. I was like, you know what if I were to create a kit, like a little mini kit that I believe that every bride and groom should have when they get married. So the first thing, of course, is stress. Planning a wedding is stressful. You do not need me to tell you that. And it's just such a huge aspect of getting married, is that you are putting together all of these moving parts, and you can use oils to support yourself emotionally and mentally during this process. So my 2 favorite things for stress are Serenity Blend by doTERRA and Jasmine. So I just want to take you through those things. Oh, Erica, thank you so much. I love creating custom blends. It gives me so much joy, and it's always different. It's different every single time. So jasmine, I always like to say, jasmine is more than just a pretty face. It smells fantastic. I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to smell like jasmine on their wedding day. It's like super sweet, but also kind of deep and complex in aroma. But it's also fantastic for anxiety, soothing stress, making you feel like the best version of yourself. Jasmine is such a huge asset to me when I'm speaking, and I know I rolled some directly onto my heart right before I went live to help with the jitters, and that is what I would definitely recommend for you as a bride. And then Serenity as well. Serenity is actually a blend of lavender, cedarwood, ylang-ylang flower. These are all oils that contain a chemical constituent called linalool. If anyone else is nerdy about science like me, that is the chemical constituent that's responsible for telling your body and your mind to chill out and calm down. So of course I use it constantly. So I'm a huge fan of Serenity Blend, and I love jasmine. So confidence and mood balance. I could teach a whole class just on this subject. So many of us get jitters when we are performing, when we're going to something where we're going to be featured in some way. And of course, you did all of this work to put together this beautiful wedding. It's, maybe the most important day of your life. You want to feel confident, strong, beautiful, and in control. And my 3 oils, if I were a bride today, I would reach for these 3 essential oils personally. So neroli is it's a small white aromatic flower of the wild orange tree. So it's really has a really seductive aroma. It's really lovely. Often when I wear it at the grocery store, people ask me, "What are you wearing?" It's really one of my favorite oils of all time. And it definitely emotionally wraps you up in a warm hug. It's really comforting. And then again, jasmine is great for stress and anxiety. And then wild orange, this is actually the first doTERRA essential oil I ever smelled. And it's like a jolt of sunshine. It's very sweet. It's very uplifting and motivating. So for me, if I were getting married today, I would want to feel confident, not stressed, and I would also want to feel motivated and energized. So those are the 3 that I would definitely reach for. And then if you don't mind scrolling to the next slide, that would be amazing. And I love making custom blends. So as I said before, I really wanted to focus on my top 5 essential oils. I put together this blend as an example. Neroli, jasmine, and wild orange together smell like crazy. It's like crack. So I love putting oils together based on an emotional need, a mental concern, so that you can feel like, oh yes, Jade says, you had me at diffuser. I'm addicted to my diffuser. I'm basically just huffing oils all day long. It keeps me really motivated. And then if you don't mind going down to the next slide as well. So best bridal oils, hands down. So I was like, okay, what are my top 5? If I were getting married, what would I do? If I was a bridesmaid or a maid of honor, what would I be sure to bring to support the bride on her big day? And these 5 were like jumping out at me. And I didn't talk about peppermint, but that's for bloating and helping you stay cool. So you got to have one practical, no nonsense essential oil in there with the others. And I wanted to include a slide with my information. So again, I've been with doTERRA for 3 years, actually a little over 3 years now. And again, I do classes. I really enjoy sending samples out to participants to try interactively during a class. So when I get people who are excited to learn and who haven't tried oils before, I send out a little package of samples so that you can experience something in real time, which I think is so much more powerful than just hearing about it in, from an objective point of view. So thank you so much for having me. My website is modernapothecary.blog. Thanks, Hannah.
Perfect. Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.
That's super good to know. I know, yeah, jitters are definitely a number one thing. I feel like everybody feels them. And so having a natural way of kind of calming those down, that's awesome. So thank you for sharing your insight on that. Ingrid, do we have Stacy from Plentiful? There she is. Hello. So now we have Stacy from Plentiful Events. She is a wedding and event coordinator here in Rogue Valley. So tell us what you got, girl.
Hi, so I hope you guys can all hear me okay. I'm actually at Dancing Vineyards, that's what's behind me right now. And I'm actually in their atrium, so the rain outside is probably echoing a lot. So I hope everybody can hear me okay. Anyway, but yes, I'm Stacy. I'm from Plentiful Events. I am super excited to talk to you today because I am actually a newer wedding event coordinator here in the Rogue Valley area. I got my start by just basically saying, I love the hustle and bustle, and I love just staying up to date on events and trends on weddings, and this is how I got started. So I actually went through college, and I got my degree in wedding and event coordinating over here at SOU in Southern Oregon. And I kind of want to tell a background about my name, Plentiful Events. My favorite rose is actually a green rose, and green rose means abundance, and kind of like a keyword that was plentiful, like a full abundance. So that's kind of how I feel is getting you an abundance of what you need and having that be able to be provided for you. Being newer, doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing, because I definitely do. I've worked under another wedding event coordinator and had plentiful hours under her. And I also definitely have had hours within college as well. But I'm also here just to kind of be down to earth with you. I'm one of those people where I love being able to conform and change what you want during your wedding and event. I am definitely somebody who will do what you need to, but also on a quick turn of a foot, I'll be able to help you out. I also am a big believer. I've heard too many stories of moms and aunts, uncles being stuck. You're important people. Yes, you have them helping with you with your event or your wedding. And I truly believe that they should be able to spend the day with you. That's where a coordinator comes in. I believe that mama shouldn't be stuck in the kitchen and where her daughter's walking down the aisle. So her mom should be out in front and watching. That's my complete belief, is mama shouldn't be in the kitchen. And that's where I want to bring myself in and be able to coordinate that and actually have it run smoothly. And I want to put a stop to those stories. I also am on here because I know how many people have been affected by COVID. I personally, I've had a couple of brides have postponed as well. And I want to do something. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous with this. I did actually. I sent out. This is one of my brides. This is actually one of her. She was actually supposed to get married, and it's raining today. So rain is actually good luck. And I sent her a sweet card and a bottle of wine. And I wanted to show her how much I do care. I thank you so much, Karen. That makes me so happy that you really enjoy it. And that's who I am. I'm tearing up because Karen wrote such a nice little thing about me. Hi Kelsey. I'm just a bubbly, uplifting girl. I want somebody to be there, and I'm just fun loving. Anyway, so everybody has been affected by COVID in some way or another. So I want to actually go into talking about something that I'm debuting today. Typically, my prices are an average, under average, because I want everybody to be able to have that affordable wedding planner and be able to have that access. And as of right now, being able to pay for what I charge is really rough right now. And I typically during a event like this, like a bridal show, I usually lower my prices for a small amount of time. Well, my prices now are going to be stuck at my bridal show prices till the end of the year. And yes, that is what I said, till the end of the year. So instead of a wedding starting at $2,400 for like a full on plan, it's going to go down to almost $1,000. Then also for a day of, it's going to go from $1,000 to almost $500. It's like almost cutting costs in half. I want you guys to be able to afford your beautiful day. For elopements, it's a discussion of whatever needs to be. And to you guys who will be paying for the services, part of your services will be donated to a cause of your choice. That is how I feel. And if you don't know of a cause, I will help pick one. The other thing is that another thing that people have been saying is that they just can't, they've moved everything, everything's crazy. So I am actually doing one other thing, and I know this is a lot, there's a lot to take in. My other thing is I am going to be giving one bride each month, starting in August, a opportunity to have me for free. One bride each month, all the way till December 2021. Yes, that is almost 15 months. So I want to be able to do that for you guys. To get in contact with me, you can either visit me on my webpage at plentifulevents.com. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a mess. Everything's being taken care of on that side of it. But also you can reach me on my Instagram. I'm very active on my Instagram, and I'd love to hear from you. And that's how I feel. Is there anything else? Does anybody have any questions?
We'll give a couple minutes for questions. Otherwise, yeah, thank you so much. That's Karen says you're so amazing and generous. Take her up on these offers, brides. So definitely.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. Thanks so much for hopping on, Stacy. Yeah. Okay, great. We will move on then. We're going to welcome Kelsey Dean, who is with Indie Glow Films. She's a wedding photographer or videographer, excuse me, here in the Rogue Valley in Oregon. And she's been doing video for 9 years, and her films really, really capture the unique personalities of her couples and are emotionally moving and super skillfully crafted. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Kelsey.
Let's see. All right, let's give this just a little moment to load. I think you just have to accept the camera.
Getting everything set up. There she is.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Hi. Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
I don't know if you heard, but I did your little intro, and so I was saying who you were, what you do, and it is all yours.
All right. So, hi everyone. Like she mentioned, I am a wedding videographer, and I'm not really going to go into why you should have a wedding videographer because I feel like a lot of people have explained that. Even Rich explained that earlier. He does wedding videography. But one thing I wanted to talk about is how do you choose the right videographer for you? Because there's so many out there, and a lot of people think, well, isn't it just picking someone who can record the day and that's it? But actually, you really need to pick a videographer kind of the same way that you would pick a photographer based on their style and how that style resonates with you. So there's so many different styles of videos out there. There's some that are like music videos. There's some that follow kind of this fast-paced trends. There's some that are more emotional, romantic. There's some that use lots of dialogue, some that don't. So you need to pick something that works for you. And one thing I wanted to talk about is audio. That's a really important thing to consider when picking a videographer. Because really, what sets your video apart from your photos on your wedding day is the audio, meaning the dialogue. You want to remember what people said. That's so important, and that's what makes your video so effective in capturing the memories. So really, if you just have a wedding video that's maybe just some pretty shots set to a music track, while that can be a stylistic choice, to me, I feel like it's not really worth the money. You really want your money to go far. And so focusing on audio is important. So I have a video that if Ingrid can pull that up, it's going to explain why audio is important and kind of how effective it can be in telling your story.
All right, so over here.
Remember this day. Things get tough. Remember this day. When she walked down the aisle and you both looked at each other for the first time, remember how you felt in your heart, and that will get you through everything. Remember this day. When things get tough, remember this day. When she walked down the aisle and you both looked at each other for the first time, remember how you felt in your heart, and that will get you through everything.
Yes. It's a tie holder. It's a tie hanger. How sweet is this? Oh my god, she's the best. The best knot we've ever tied for 13 night. I'm the luckiest man on the planet.
Jasmine Renee, I can't hardly put words to the surreal feeling that I'm caught in today. Today I get to marry my best friend. Though I'm a bit nervous because of all this extra adrenaline coursing through me, I'm consumed with a holy joy for what's about to happen in a couple of short hours. These last 2 days I've been keenly aware of how blessed I am to have you at my side for the rest of this life. Overwhelmed with God's great faithfulness and kindness to bring me the woman of my dreams.
I was meant to be yours, your knight in shining armor, the man of your dreams. Thank you for letting me care for you, cherish you, and love you. Thank you for being so supportive, being my biggest fan, and being the best cat mom out there.
You heard it here.
Thank you for being my rock, my supporter, but most importantly, thank you for being you.
Okay. Can everybody hear me again?
Right, good to go.
Okay. So that kind of illustrated how much audio can really add to your video and to remembering your wedding. So the other thing to consider is editing style. So the goal that you should have when you're researching videographers is watch a bunch of videos, and if they don't move you emotionally, they're probably not the right videographer for you. If you watch a video and it moves you emotionally, you start crying, you feel like, oh, this is the coolest couple, I feel like I know them. That's how you should feel after you watch a wedding video. You should feel like you know the couple, you know their love story, even if you don't know them personally. That's a sign of a really good videographer. So keep those things in mind. And then Ingrid, if you want to pull up the next video, this incorporates some of the things that were in the audio video and just showing you how editing can really change the video. It's kind of a compilation of my 2019 brides and grooms and couples.
Love is a feeling, a sensation, an emotion, and I felt that love for you deeply in the years that I've known you. In that time, though, I've learned that love is not just a feeling. It's also a verb, a choice. It's choosing to be present for the other person. It's choosing to dig in instead of opt out. You have made it so easy for me to choose to love you.
We've traveled, created traditions, and even our own language. However, long before we created this life that we have together today, I knew that you were my better half. My love for you knows no limit. You are the best partner for whom anyone can ask. I'm so excited for our future together and everything that it has in store. You are the love of my life. I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
Oh, you look gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh, you are gorgeous.
Remember this day. When things get tough, remember this day. When she walked down the aisle and you both looked at each other for the first time, remember how you felt in your heart, and that will get you through everything.
To pronounce you husband and wife. You can kiss your bride.
There are three things that last in life: faith, hope, and love. So let us raise a glass to the happy couple. It's two souls, but with a single thought, two hearts beat. Let's
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me again, but yeah, so that was basically my presentation. I just wanted to add one thing. I am focusing on elopements and micro weddings right now. So I offer that. I also offer live streaming of your wedding ceremony, which is
Wow.
a lot of people want right now because of all the COVID craziness. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amazing. I was choking up during that, that video for sure. Yes. Yeah, you really do such a great job. So thank you for putting that together. Yeah, I know you got a lot of people in their feels just then. So definitely take advantage. Look below. Indie Glow, she's offering special micro wedding and elopement packages right now due to COVID. So definitely take her up on that. All right, so I think thank you so much, Kelsey. I think we're going to go to our next vendor if he's ready. Do we have Veach? There he is. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to David Veach, also known as DJ Veach, and he is what he says he is. He's a DJ.
Yeah, I named my business in a burst of creativity. You know, who am I and what do I do? I'm a DJ. My name's Veach. Boom, done. So, I want to thank everybody for being here today, though. This is super fun. Everybody's been doing fantastic. To all the other vendors, you guys are great. Love working with you, and I love seeing all your faces again. It's been way too long. We seriously need to have like a big get together as soon as things open back up just a little bit more. So anyway, want to thank everyone for being here. I am a DJ. I've been doing this for 8-9 years, something like that, and been doing it full time, so no day job, for about 4.5 years now. Just full-time DJing, which is wonderful. Love it, absolutely love it. I love being a part of your day. The tagline to my business is creating the soundtrack to your memories. And the reason why I chose that as the tagline is I've always been a musician, and music has this way of attaching itself to a moment in time. And then every time that we hear that song, we're back in that moment. For me, there's a few, every time I hear American Pie, I'm back at my grandmother's house, sitting there listening to the radio in the living room, and I can see everything, I can feel everything, and then also, a couple of other songs that remind me of, times, road trips across the country with friends and things like that. And I really feel like music is super, super important for you and your day, and that we get the right songs for that. And that way, no matter when later on in life you hear that song, you're transported back to the day of your wedding, and you hear and feel all those wonderful emotions again. So if we could go ahead and bring up the first slide, I've got a process that I take all of my couples through that helps with selecting all of those key songs. And it first starts off with actually not with music, but with selecting the right vendors. So I've got a list of recommended vendors, recommended professionals that I've worked with before. Many of those names you are going to see on the list here as well. And this is all a part of a packet that if you choose to book me, that I'll be sending to you. Many different names are going to be very familiar, and there's recommendations for everything from places to get rental decor, wedding dresses, even dance instructors. There's some places that I recommend for the groom to go get his attire, as well as places like Rogue Barbers, where he can go with his buddies and get a real good haircut, maybe a beard trim. That's important for me, and just get all cleaned up and looking nice for the day. Lots of vendors that you'll see on here, and again, this whole packet is provided if you decide that you want to book me. So if we could go to the next slide. All right, so this is the consultation form that really helps you and me create the music and the timeline and everything for your day. So it gets very in-depth. Some people get a little intimidated by that, but don't worry. There's always plenty of time to work on this, but it asks a lot of questions. And hey Jade, how you doing? It asks a lot of questions, and the whole idea is These are questions that a lot of the time couples tell me, ooh, we didn't think about that. Sorry, Siri.
Try again.
My apologies on that. Siri decided to interrupt me. So it asks a lot of the questions that couples tell me they aren't sure that they've even thought of before. And it gets, like I said, very in-depth. What kind of background music do we want before the ceremony? Are we going to be formally seating any parents or grandparents to start the ceremony off? And if so, what songs do we want? Yeah, how many bridesmaids, groomsmen, what song are they coming into? How many flower girls, ring bearers? And how old are they? Why does the DJ need to know that? Well, if we have a 9-year-old flower girl, she's going to walk down the aisle and do her thing. We're going to be great. If we have a 3-year-old ring bearer, who knows what might happen? So it just clues me in. Maybe I need to be prepared to, loop the music around seamlessly so that nobody notices that, oh, the music wasn't long enough for the moment or whatever. So that sort of thing. And it goes on through not only just the ceremony, but on the subsequent pages, it walks through the reception and the dance party package as well. And again, very in-depth questions, but we have plenty of time asking a lot of questions like, for this key moment, what song would you like? So to help with filling that out, if we could advance to the next slide, I have a bunch of song suggestions. These are the most popular ones that I have seen for all the various different key moments, things like first dance songs, mother-son and father-daughter dances. A lot of the time people have some struggles with picking these songs out, and they're very important. And so this just gives you some options and ideas. You are in no way restricted at all. These are not limiting. These are there as idea starters. A lot of the time couples will find the perfect song right there on the list, and that's wonderful. But most of the time what happens is they'll be looking through the list and they're like, oh, not that song, but what about the other? And it gets you past that kind of stuck place, writer's block or deer in the headlights. I don't even know what song to choose for cutting the cake. I have some suggestions. So in addition to this, if we could advance to the next slide, another thing that I include in the packet is the top 200 most requested songs from the previous year. This is a nationwide list that's put together by a service that I subscribe to called DJ Intelligence. And basically, what I'd love for you to do is go through the list and put a star by all the songs that you absolutely love. You're looking through it, you're like, oh, that's my jam. We're going to get out there and dance. Put a star by that. And if there's a song that you're like, don't you dare. Oh, thunder just rolled. That was very ominous, But if there's a song that you're just like, oh, there's no way, cross that thing out. That is a do not play. And what this list does is a couple of things for me. It allows me to get a better idea of what you're really looking for music, especially when it comes to the dance time. And the second thing that it lets us do is have a conversation about the most likely songs that your guests are going to walk up and ask for. So if somebody were to walk up and ask to play Baby Got Back, I like big butts, is that okay for you at your wedding or not? Some couples love it, think they want to have that song. Other couples really don't feel like that's the right music for their vibe. I don't care. It's not my wedding. It's your day. And so the whole point is to make sure that this day reflects you and your music and what you guys want to have. If there are songs that are not on this list, which there probably are, that you absolutely want to hear, let me know. I've gotten lists, everything from an Excel spreadsheet to a stack of handwritten notes. A lot of couples nowadays are using Spotify or Shazam, Amazon MP3, YouTube Music, the various different services out there to start to compile a wedding playlist. So I subscribe to all of those and can absolutely work with whatever playlist you've got. Oh, Kelsey, thank you. You're kind. And let's go ahead and switch on over to the next slide. So this is just a list of some additional services that we provide. I've got a couple of videos that reference a few of them later. But custom dance remixes. A lot of couples, I've actually got a wedding coming up very soon where they're doing a custom father-daughter dance. And so we can put together music from a lot of different little clips and snippets and things. I'm sure you've seen them on YouTube of those custom choreographed dance tracks. I can do that for you. We can also do, I'm a certified officiant. We can be there for the wedding rehearsal. If that's something that you're interested in, we can absolutely talk about that. I also provide video projection. So a lot of couples will have like a, our story type of video. And especially now with COVID going on, there's a lot of couples that are doing the smaller elopement ceremony. And then maybe next year they're planning a larger reception. but they want to be able to have all of their guests kind of feel like they saw that wedding. So I can provide a TV or projector, whichever is going to be right for the venue, and we can put that video of your wedding ceremony up so that all your guests can enjoy it. And there's a lot of other things that we can also offer, but we can talk about all that when we sit down over coffee. So let's go ahead and switch over to the next slide. Wedding rehearsal guidelines. Most couples have never done this before, whereas I have done, oh geez, I don't even know how many weddings, lots. And so this walks through how to run a successful wedding rehearsal. If you would like for me to be there for the rehearsal, I can absolutely do that. I bring your music, we have everything queued up, we practice the walkthroughs, the timing, all that sort of stuff. But if you don't feel like that's something that you need, but your officiant isn't really comfortable running the rehearsal, this gives some just basic guidelines. I've just found over the years, if the rehearsal goes really smooth and everyone knows where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go, what they're supposed to be doing, then the day of the ceremony, everyone knows where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go, what they're supposed to be doing. If the rehearsal is a little, crazy, chaotic, I'm not sure what's going on, nobody magically figures that out by the day of the ceremony. And so the whole idea here is to just give you guys some tools to help with that. Let's go ahead and switch over to the next slide. So this is what an itinerary is going to look like. And that's what the whole point of this entire packet has been, is we're going to meet about 4 to 6 weeks before the day of your wedding, and we'll put together this itinerary. And so this walks through everything. It's basically, in the theater world, they would call this a run of show. But basically it lists out all the events in the order they're going to happen and all the key songs that are associated with this. This is very similar, although different, to what your wedding coordinator is going to be putting together for you. Theirs will have a lot more timestamps and things like that. But the important thing is, once we get this all laid out between us, I will be coordinating with your wedding coordinator as well to make sure we've got all the key events all lined out. So that if they have the cutting of the cake at this time and I have the cutting of the cake later, that we get that all synced up and we're all reading from the same playbook here. But this lays out everything for you that I'll be saying and playing long before we get there. That way you guys can feel very comfortable. It lists out all the key songs, the key moments, all the announcements that need to be made verbatim, etc. So it gets, again, pretty in-depth. And usually when we're meeting about a month and a half before the wedding, there may be 1 or 2 songs that quite haven't been nailed down yet. And that's totally fine. What we do is we just highlight those items in red, and then I email you the PDF. So you're able to scroll through it real quick and go 1, 2, 3 things are what we need to get to each, and then we're golden. That way everybody, again, is on the same page. I've been called by some of my friends, well, I call myself OCD. Some of my friends call me CDO. That's the same thing. It's still OCD, but it's in alphabetical order, the way it should be. So I try to be very, very organized. That way, your wedding day is going to have enough nuances and maybe some surprises, simply because we have people involved. And so with this gives us all a game plan and an idea of where we're going, where we're headed, what we're supposed to be doing right now. And then if we need to make some day of adjustments, game time decisions, we can absolutely do that. But we still have a structure and a plan as to where we're going back to as soon as we get past whatever hurdles we need to. If we can go ahead and skip to the next slide. So one of the things that a lot of couples will ask me is, do you have any additional lighting and things like that? Ooh, looks like we may be having a little technical difficulty there. So basically, there's a lot of different lighting options and things like that that we can provide. Everything from uplighting, which is really fancy lights that are shining from the ground up onto the walls or up into the foliage if we're at an outdoor venue. And even flood lighting. A lot of the time couples nowadays are doing a lot of private property weddings, so we're not at a professional venue. And sometimes there's parts of that property that may be a little dimmer, a little darker, and if guests are walking around that area, we want to make sure we've got some safety lighting going on over there. So we can do that sort of thing, just basic white flood lighting. Another fun thing that we've added recently in the last couple of years is some bubble machines. And these are not just the cheapo, blow a couple of bubbles a second. These are kind of industrial strength bubble machines, and they are super fun. I've had them at birthday parties, at weddings, at company parties, etc. And everybody, from 9 to 90, all the people love them. So they're super, super fun. Unfortunately, I had some videos queued up, but unfortunately the technical difficulties appear to be preventing that. But we can definitely show you that when we sit down over coffee. I have said we several times. That's not because I have a mouse in my pocket or any mental challenges. That's simply because there are more than just me working here. I've got a few other DJs that work for me as well. So if my personal calendar is full for the day that that your wedding is, I can absolutely put you with another one of my DJs who I trust. I am very picky. It's taken me a long time to find other people who I trust with, doing your wedding. And so, because it's got to be done right. There is no do-over here. It's got to be done right the first time. And these are people who are equally very, very conscientious and very professional. I'm really comfortable with who they are as a person and also who they are on the microphone. We are basically your MC for the day, the master of ceremonies. We're the person who's going to be letting your guests know, what's coming up next, what we expect from them. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom will be finishing some final photographs and we'll join you shortly. Please make your way over to the reception area to enjoy some refreshments. Those sorts of announcements, letting your guests know where to go. It's important that somebody's voice be able to be heard clearly and understood by all ages, which not everyone has the same vocal timbre to be able to do that. It's kind of, you've got to know how to use your voice appropriately. And so these guys have been trained personally by me. They know exactly what they're doing. And I'm very, very confident in them. So again, we have lots and lots of options. So, thank you, Erica. You are so kind. Thank you, Jade, again. But yeah, essentially the idea is I want you to be very comfortable with both the plan and the person prior to the day of. So the way that my process kind of works is we sit down over coffee and we get to know each other because it's important for you to know who I am. If we're going to be putting you with another one of my DJs, I bring them in as well. So we sit down over coffee. That's usually anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, or we could do a Zoom call in this wonderful day of COVID. So Zoom, FaceTime, Skype, or just a telephone call, or whatever is most convenient for you. Right now, do we have the video? Still technical troubles. Okay, don't worry about it, Ingrid.
I'm so sorry. I had it ready yesterday, and it's like locking me out.
It's okay, not a problem. So right now, what we're doing is we're offering $100 towards any additional services if you book within the next 30 days. So how you get a hold of me is you can just send me an email, send me a phone call. Facebook works wonderful. Right now, my website is actually being rebuilt to reflect the additional DJs that I've got and some of the additional services that we've recently added. So my website will pretty much just point you to my Facebook for the next couple of weeks until we get that dialed in. But feel free to message me on Facebook and we'll be able to get in touch. We'll set up a time and we'll talk through everything. And again, that $100 will go towards any of the additional services, such as the uplighting, the bubble machines, additional microphones, if you have more than one person going to be talking, etc. So,
yeah, that's awesome. I worked a wedding with Veach last year, and I think you had at the Dia de los Muertos wedding, you had some of that lighting. Yeah, and it was just really fun. So definitely take advantage of that. I also did a bubble machine wedding at a dance party last year, and it was just a blast. Everyone had the best time. So take advantage of those, guys, because it's super fun and unique way to kind of jazz things up at the reception. But thank you so much, Veach.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Ingrid, as well.
All right, let's see, what are we on to next? Are we moving to Carmen? Yes. So hi, Carmen. This is Carmen with Beyond the Gates Photo. She's a wedding and portrait photographer based here in Central Point, Oregon, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice to be able to see everybody's faces again. And I miss my vendor family so much. The bridal shows are such a big part of what I do that being able to see everybody has been so much fun. And thank you, Ingrid and Hannah, as well, so much for being able to do this. With the COVID thing, it's just been so hard to reach out to couples. And so it's been really nice to have this so that couples can kind of see the vendors in their area. So thank you so much for putting it together. You guys worked really hard for it. So yeah, I'll get into a little bit about myself and what I do. So I am Beyond the Gates Photo. I do wedding photography mostly. I do a few other things as well. Um, I can we do that one last, Ingrid? I think the one that I wanted to show was in Google Photos.
Okay, let me find that really quick.
Okay. I'll just keep talking while you do that. So, yes, I do wedding photography. I do couples. I do families. I do maternity sessions. And I do that because I have had brides who have moved on to other stages in their life where they were having children and have families, and they wanted me to also photograph their story, basically their whole life story as it progresses. And so that is one thing that I really pride myself on is creating a relationship with my couples. um, I love being able to see them post pictures that I've done and just hear their words, how much they enjoy those and the emotions that it brings back to them when they look at those pictures. So I love following them on Instagram, on Facebook. We have kept in touch with a lot of my brides. It's been really fun to be able to see their little families form. So I am also really nervous as some of the others were, so bear with me. I actually this month celebrated 20 years of doing wedding photography. My very first wedding I shot was 20 years ago. And being able to reminisce on the reason why I do this has been really nice this month. And it's kind of, it worked well. It went hand in hand with this show as well, because, you know, I'm able to think back. Why did I get started in wedding photography? Why did I keep doing wedding photography throughout the years? And it's because I absolutely love seeing the love in couples, seeing those emotions in the pictures. And then I enjoy the first couple that I shot 20 years ago just posted their anniversary announcement, and the pictures that they posted were my pictures, and my heart literally like skipped a beat when I saw those, because I was like, whoa, those are my pictures. That was so long ago, 20 years, but it seems like just a little bit ago. And to see them be able to reminisce on the love that they had that day, and it's just amazing. It's the reason why I keep doing this is to see couples really enjoying their photographs for decades down the road. Um, my style is classic. It's clean, glamorous, it's timeless. I am a poser. I love posing your shots. But I also appreciate the emotions in a picture or in a pose. So I try to capture that as well. So, for example, rather than just posing a couple, I will have a couple move into the pose. And a lot of time that creates funny laughs. For example, I will tell them, you know, go into a kiss, but kiss with your teeth. And that just makes them laugh, and then I capture that moment. So I've got your poses, and I've got those special moments in between, the funny moments, the romantic glazes, where the bride is just like totally looking at her groom and like so much love, you can feel that. Or I say move in for a soft kiss, and the groom just like goes for it into a passionate kiss, and you can feel that in those photographs, and I love doing that. I want to mention real quick before I move on, the slide that's up, I am offering a special. So if you comment during the session, during the live stream, I am going to select one bride at the end of the 24 hours, or one couple, to receive 30% off of the gold wedding package. And anyone who comments on the stream will receive 10% off of any wedding package that they book. So comment away, comment where you're from, where you're getting married, what your date is. Let me know if you have a wedding photographer, who that is. There are a lot of wedding photographers in the Valley that I absolutely love. I love Hannah. I love Jade, who presented earlier. There are several others also, and we've formed friendships. So just let me know who you're having, or if you need a wedding photographer, we can certainly set up an appointment to talk. So once you've booked with me, you do receive a welcome packet. What's included in that welcome packet is a booklet that has a lot of information regarding what to do to look your best on your wedding day, how to stay calm, who to bring in to help you. There's a little bit of information on how to include the groom in some of the planning so that he feels like he's included in all of that. A lot of times they get left out and the bride makes all the plans. So just including that. There's a vendors list. And one really important thing that I have in there also is sample timeline. There's several sample timelines in there that you can adjust to your day, your times. And I find it very, very important to work with my brides and my grooms, with my couples, in creating a timeline for their wedding day event. It's been mentioned before with other vendors that presented earlier today. It's very important to have a timeline for your wedding day event. We know it's not always going to stick to that time exactly, but we ballpark it. And at least this way, all the vendors know exactly where they need to be at what time. Your family members know where they need to be at what time for portraits. And the day flows a lot smoother. It helps us to kind of set guidelines as to what's going to take place next. I like arriving at your wedding with a game plan. So I schedule an appointment with you to either go tour the venue beforehand or to come to your rehearsal. I like to scout out locations for where we're going to have your family portraits, where we're going to have your first look if you're having one, where we're doing bridal portraits, maybe even a really pretty location to hang your dress for those special moments, a location where I could do my flat lays, detail shots. And that way, when I get there to your wedding, I'm not actually, when I get to your wedding, I'm not wasting time looking for those locations. I can just get right to work. And I love doing that because it saves us a lot of time. It saves you a lot of you're paying me to be there for a certain amount of hours, and I want to maximize my effectiveness and get you as many shots as I can. If I'm spending that time looking for locations, then I feel like that's kind of a waste of your money. So I like to absolutely. Were you able to find that, Ingrid?
You sent me that boudoir file, but I have your website pulled up. Do you want to scroll through it a little bit?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
So you can see here, this was actually my latest wedding that I did. It wasn't the latest one, but it was one of the last weddings I did. And it was a very beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best weddings that I've done. The bride was just gorgeous, and they had everything planned out perfectly. You can see I love doing single bridal shots. Can you scroll up just a little bit again? The other way, sorry. The single bride shot is one of my favorites. I love doing that. I love being able to go through the venue and find like these locations. These were all locations that we set up an appointment ahead of time and went and looked, and we wanted to do the vineyard. Then there were these really beautiful trees that we wanted to use in the background. They had this platform with a vineyard just kind of growing over the top. And then as you look through it, you could see the Ashland Mountains. And I knew that I had to use that spot for some pictures there, and those were amazing. They have this little bridge that goes over the creek. So those are just some of the locations that we scouted out, and the bride and groom and the bride's mother, they said, you know, we want to use this location here. We would like to use that location there. And so I think that's an important part of being able to do that. These photos here, being able to capture the bride, you know, her hairdo, her makeup that day, being able to catch details of what, you know, your day was like. We can stop there, Ingrid, it's fine. And then, you know, when you're doing details, it's important to have your dress, your jewelry, your not your makeup, but your invitation, all those little details so that we can capture those. I know when my sisters got married, I'm still finding invitations from their weddings that I wanted to save, but if you have a picture of them, then you don't have to be like every time I move, I have to pack that invitation because I want to save it. And so it's really nice to be able to have pictures of it because you can put it in an album and then you'll always remember those details. Let's talk first look for a second, real quick. I really love a first look. It's important for brides. I feel like it's important for the bride and groom to have that special moment to themselves, and be able to talk to each other and just have that breather. And so I love it when brides and grooms decide to do that because it also maximizes the time that they're able to get pictures. We can move into bridal shot pictures and family pictures beforehand. This will allow them to move straight from the reception or from the ceremony into the reception, to spend time with their guests that they've had invited to the wedding and not let them sit for too long. I think we're running a little low on time, so go ahead and I also, one of the things that I've started doing recently is boudoir. When I have one package that I offer that in, so could we go ahead and show that slide, Ingrid? I feel that boudoir is a very important thing for brides to do before the wedding day. It allows them to work with me beforehand, and then it empowers them and it gives them a sense of confidence for them to have on their wedding day. It goes all the way to their wedding day. They feel confident, they feel beautiful. My boudoir is Alluring Beauty by Beyond the Gates Photo. And this bride here, she was so nervous to do her boudoir session, and we just come in, we get into it like very slowly, and we start off with some fun poses, like you can see her flipping her hair and just having a good time, and then we'll move into some more seductive poses, kind of. I do not ever want to do anything that you're not comfortable with doing. I try to stay, yeah, you can move to the next one. You know, this bride was a little more reserved, and so we were just trying to make sure that we don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. I like a more fine art style boudoir, not so dark and moody. My boudoirs are usually very light and airy and just fun and just kind of show a little bit of that seducing coming through. The next slide, please. This was a beautiful, beautiful woman that I've worked with in the vendor industry, and I love her. And she was just absolutely gorgeous. She nailed that bridal or that boudoir session. And you can see a little bit of what she says. Most of the gals that I've worked with have come out feeling so empowered and just really feeling like they have been empowered and they feel beautiful inside and they feel good about themselves. Next slide. This gal, she's amazing. I loved working with Leslie so much. She was awesome. She is, if you don't know her, she she owns Tipsy Horse, and she's just amazing to work with. It's a mobile bar, and yeah, she was just fun. I loved working with her, and I've worked with her in other things too, but she was just, yeah, amazing. And then the next slide. And then this is just how to get a hold of me. So I know I went through this really fast. There's so much to talk about. I was trying to think, okay, what am I going to talk about for this? 10 minutes is really not enough time to kind of go through everything. So, and I feel like I raced through it. So if you have any questions, if you guys want to know more about me, how I work, what's included in the welcome packet, how my flow of day is from start to finish. I do include a second photographer in a lot of my packages, so how that works. If you have any questions you want to know, my first consultation is free of charge. You can message me, call me, text me, email me, any way you want. Just set up a consultation. We absolutely can chat, see if we're a good fit, if my style fits your style, if my personality fits your style, because I do think that that's an important thing when you're booking a photographer or a videographer or any vendor for that matter, that your personalities really mesh, because if they don't, then it's possible that you'll run into issues. And we don't want that on your wedding day. I think I speak for all vendors, we all want your wedding day to be smooth and effortless for you. We want you to enjoy it. We want you to have a good time with your guests. We want you to, in the end, have that video and those photos to be able to look back on and say, yeah, that was a wonderful day and we had no issues, and our vendors took care of everything for us, and our photographer captured it exactly how we wanted it. We could see the emotion in those photos and love them. I want you to love your photos, your wedding day photographs, for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's me.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I fully agree with that statement. I think like our overriding goal as vendors is just to support our couples and lift them up and be there for them. And yeah, so thank you for that. That was amazing. I love the boudoir. Like, oh yeah, I agree. It's like such a confidence booster for brides. So I love that. Okay. Let's see. So this is going so well, you guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Next up, Ingrid's going to hop on and talk about what she does with her company, Reverie.
All right. Hey, guys. Yes, let's see here. Something's not quite right here. Okay, we're good. So yeah, my name is Ingrid. I guess I didn't introduce myself. You guys don't know who I am. My name is Ingrid. I started the Bridal Talk, and I also have a flower preservation business. I do modern flower preservation. I know our moms definitely like press their flowers and things like that. But I came up with a way to do it in a modern way and something that we can just cherish for the rest of our lives. So let's see here. I need like my own like technician. Okay, so can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Hannah, can you hear me? Yes, yes. Can you guys still hear me with the background?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I was responding to a comment. Yeah, we can totally still hear you.
Cool. Okay. So my preservation company is called Reverie. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the process. So the step one is because of limited storage space, you must secure your date. It's only $25 to save your date. And you don't need to decide on what what you want to do. And let me show you a little bit of what I do. So you can see here that it's kind of in like a glass-like material. And we can make big pieces, we can make smaller pieces. These are actually magnets, and they go in your fridge or your cabinet or whatever you want. And they're just tiny. They're about probably 1.5 inches long, and they're just so cute and dainty. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go back to the process. I'm all over the place. So yes, I need to save, or you must save your date to secure that space. In step 2, your florals need to be received no later than 48 hours after the event date. If your florals are already dried, we can still work with them, and we can still create a piece for you. And I know you guys are in Oregon, so with shipping flowers, it's super, super easy. If you have any white flowers, it gets really tricky, and we can just kind of evaluate what made it through shipping. But usually they're pretty good. I just tell you guys to wrap them in paper towels and lots of padding, and then you ship away. It's not wasteful. I always reuse everything as well, so that's good. But yeah, colored flowers usually make it quite a while in shipping, so that's good. But again, we can always evaluate what made it in shipping, and usually we're all good to go. So let's see here. Step 3, your flowers will take anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks to fully dry. After this time, it's time to sign off on a design idea. Usually you'll see 3 to 5 ideas, and then you can choose to sign off on one of those. If a design isn't quite right, we can always like take a design and then fix it from there. But I always like to have you guys sign off on a design rather than me just designing something and surprising you. The way I see it is it's your artwork, it's your piece, and you get to see it for the rest of your life. So I want you guys to be happy with what we create together. Let me show you, let's see here. You can see here some beautiful designs that I've recently done. You can do something more elaborate, or you can do something simple and just like one little flower as well. So step 4 in the process is after an idea has been signed off, the preservation can begin. This takes anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, and this is that casting that I do in that glass-like material. It takes, I'll show you guys again here. You'll see how thick it is. This was like 4 inches thick. They are huge, and it takes about 1 centimeter every single day. So it does take a while, but as you can see, it's definitely worth it. Step 5, the final stage is shipping. Your treasure will be finally on your way to her forever home. Let's see. Everything is UV protected. Everything lasts a lifetime. It doesn't yellow at all, and it is crystal clear. Some flowers, they have like little bubble pockets, so they create like cute little bubbles. I think they're so cute. But other than that, everything is crystal clear. Everything is super durable. It's not actually as fragile as glass. It's pretty like tough, and yeah. We can always make wall pieces. This was a photo before I put holes in it, but we can always put holes in your pieces. And I like to actually reuse your bouquet ribbon. You can see in that left photo right there that I reused her bouquet ribbon as like the actual wall hanging piece. So it hangs from that, and that makes it super pretty. Yeah, we can do simple pieces like this. This is just a tiny little guy. Let's see here. And that's kind of all. Let me show you, I did want to show you some videos. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, everybody's loving them. Yay, I'm so glad. Okay. Share this screen.
let it get to your head.
All right. So you can kind of see it is like so glassy. It's so pretty, and they're thick. She thick. What else can I show you guys? Let's see. I need my own technician. Here we go. This was actually a memorial piece. This was her grandfather's memorial roses, and she wanted them preserved. So it doesn't have to be weddings. It can be whatever you want. And this is a great way to remember. Jade says, can we do it even if we don't have a wedding bouquet? Yes, this is a memorial piece, or you could do whatever you want. If you gotta go buy yourself some flowers. Another fun thing that I can do is, let me show you here. I also create ring holders. And if you save your date within, after watching this bridal talk, you do receive a free ring holder in your order. So these are so cute. They're so just adorable. And these hold your rings on your nightstand or whatever you want. And they're so cute. They are about 4 inches tall. And they just hold your ring. What else do I have? And I'll show you the last one because I know I'm blabbing. Let's see here. Okay, so this, the bride actually had already previously dried her flowers. So you can see here that everything turned out fine. I was still able to preserve already dried flowers. And this was another big and beautiful piece. Super pretty. And do I have anything else? I think that's all. That's all my little presentation. Thank you guys for watching that. And what do we have? Do you have the schedule now?
Yes. So next up we have I believe it's Hannah with Bold and Beautiful Motion Pictures.
Okay.
But oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with the preserved flowers. I didn't know you did that. That's amazing. The ring holders, I'm like, I wish I'd known after my wedding that I totally would have gotten one of those. That's amazing. Yeah, so thank you for popping that in here.
Absolutely. If you guys are interested in inquiring, just visit reverie_mt on Instagram, and we can get you your date saved.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're on to Hannah. Is she on?
I think looks like she's not on yet.
Okay.
So let's do a giveaway.
Yep, let's do it. Giveaway time, guys.
While we wait for Hannah, we're gonna post a little giveaway. Let me find it here. Let's see. Okay, so all you Medford people, I'm giving away a gift card to a really awesome bar. I haven't been yet, but I'm definitely gonna go as soon as I come visit. So drinks, date night drinks are on me. All you have to do is like and share this video, follow Ingrid Svare Photography and the Bridal Talk on Instagram, and tell me your favorite cocktail down in the comments. And then this gift card is to Elements Tapas. Super, super cute bar, and I am so excited to go visit it. Let me know if you guys have already been there, and let me know when you guys get there. So we're going to load the next vendor, and we'll be right back. Okay, these cocktails are looking so good. Keep those comments going. And if you're watching on the replay, I'm leaving these giveaways open for 24 hours. So you can still enter. Be sure to enter these giveaways. And looks like both Hannahs are ready. And I'll leave it to our little host here.
There we go. I was muted for a second. But okay, so next up we have Hannah Bolden from Bolden Beautiful Motion Pictures, and she is a wedding videographer here in the Valley. So go ahead and tell us what you got.
Hey guys, so like Hannah said, I'm Hannah also, and I own Bolden Beautiful Motion Pictures. I am the main videographer and editor at that. And just kind of going to go through my packages with you and then talk a little bit about why I believe a videographer is important for your wedding day. So if you could pull up the first slides that I'd sent you, that would be awesome. So for your wedding day, we are on site the whole day. My crew is there up to 10 hours. I'm there as long as I need to be. It's 3 HD cameras, and we do drone work on the day of as well. In the final video, you receive your full ceremony, toast, getting ready, dancing, send off, everything in between is included, and we edit it to the music of your choice. And you receive that on your choice of a DVD or Blu-ray copy. And we give you a 3 to 5 minute short edit of just the highlights of your day so you can share with friends and family on social media. And let me see here. I'm used to being behind the camera, so I'm a little more awkward in front of it. You'll have to bear with me. All right.
I'm
So if
pulling
you
up
could
your
pull up
slide right now. Stay with me.
Okay. All right. So depending on the layout of your day, we arrive up to 2 hours before you start getting ready with hair and makeup and all of that to get detail shots, your dress, ring, shoes, shots of the venue, kind of whatever's going on. Once you guys start getting ready, I'll be getting the bride getting ready. I send someone to get the groom, and we have someone capturing all of the other details that are happening. And if you could pull up the video I sent you, that would be awesome. So for me, one of the big reasons that I fell in love with video was a dear friend of mine had passed, unfortunately, about 9 months after I met him. And I realized that I didn't have any photos or videos with him. And it just made me realize life goes by so much faster than we anticipate. And we should be able to capture that and have the beautiful photos and videos of your day. And your wedding day is one of the most important days of your life. And I want you to be able to relive it for exactly what it was. When you do a first look, when your groom walks up behind you, and just the excitement in the air is tangible. And you turn around to see each other for the first time. I cry every single time. It is so beautiful. And you're just looking at each other with just such love, knowing that you're going to spend the rest of your lives together. And during ceremony. I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, do you want audio with your video?
Maybe just low audio would be great.
Okay, perfect.
And when you aisle for the first time and your groom sees you and everyone's watching you about to make this big moment in your life that is one of the most amazing things he will ever do. I want you to be able to remember that day for exactly what it was, for your first dance, the excitement when you're getting ready, everything in between, because a wedding day can get so crazy and you're just going with your photographer, trying to get everything set up with your coordinator, making sure everything's staying on track. And there's so much going on. I don't want you to have to miss any of it. And a videographer is a great way to capture all of those moments. So every year you can pull your video out and relive your day for what it was, the funny stories that were told, or just the sweet, intimate moments between you and your significant other. To have the audio from your day, your ceremony, so you can remember everything that was said, the speeches, the amazing kind words your family has to say, and excitement for your journey together in this life. And we love to hear about all of the moments that are special to you. So if there's something unique you want included in your video, we can absolutely incorporate that into it. Or one of my upcoming brides has wanted some just short interviews with guests that she has, just words of advice, so that she can pass those on and look through them later and just be able to take in the day and relive it for what it was without missing anything. Do you guys have any questions for me? Oh my gosh, that couple was just the cutest couple. It was at a beautiful venue in Ashland, Belfiore Winery. Just absolutely stunning. My apologies about that. I think it's hard to choose just one moment. Wedding days are, again, one of the most important days of your life, and I know that when I get married one day, I'll have to have a videographer and a photographer. But I think that we all have a story to share with family and friends, and we get to share one of the most special moments of our lives, our wedding day, with family and friends. And just the love and care that the couples and their families have for each other on that day would definitely be just my favorite thing all around, just watching the emotions and the feelings of just every moment in between. And I think I about covered everything I wanted to, unless there's any other questions you guys have. I think that a big part of filming a wedding is getting to know your couple beforehand and becoming their friend, and them just feeling like you are one of their close friends, helping them throughout their day. So when you're there filming their wedding, they're not uncomfortable in front of the camera. They're sharing their day with you and not trying to pose in a certain way and be awkward in front of a camera.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And yeah, unless there are any other questions, I think we will move right along. Okay, so next we have Brennan. Is Brennan on?
Not Brennan.
Oh, not Brennan. Sorry.
Am I
Oh,
right?
Hummingbird. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I skipped ahead for some reason.
Totally
Hummingbird.
fine.
So
Hi.
Hummingbird, you've seen little snippets of it today because Kat and Erica were both doing their presentations from Hummingbird. They're a new wedding and event space, as well as a tasting room and bed and breakfast, and they're here in Southern Oregon. So go ahead, Kayla, and you
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, like as she said, we're brand new, so we just opened in September. So something kind of unique about us is the fact that we are vineyard. We have a tasting room. We have 5 suites upstairs. And so we have kind of packages ranging from all the way from about 25 guests, which we do what people call either like a micro wedding or what we kind of call a pop-up wedding, which is super popular these days. And there's some pictures of our place. It's kind of gonna flow through so you can kind of see what we're working with. But then, yeah, we do the smaller events if you want something super intimate, and especially in times like this where a big wedding might not really seem like a feasible option, all the way up to we can have 200 guests for that large, super traditional, kind of everyone you know is there kind of event. So we're pretty all-inclusive in terms of a venue, except for catering. So we don't do catering. There's a lot of lovely caterers out there and everything, and so you're more than welcome to bring an outside caterer on site. We've worked with quite a few of them in the past, and we have, all the necessary hookups for them to come and do their thing here with you for your special day. But pretty much everything other than that. So we do both ceremonies and receptions here. We own our tables and chairs. So we have gorgeous wooden farm tables for the reception, and then the vineyard crossback chairs that go with them. And then we also have a separate, the white resin ceremony chairs that we use for the ceremony. So that way there's no switching of chairs. Nobody's having to lug anything around on your day. We also have a ceremony arch, and it can have your florals attached to it or anything hung from it if need be. We have our dance floor. So it's a 18 by 18 foot wooden dance floor that can be taken down in size depending on your guest count there. And once again, we set up and take down all of that kind of stuff. And so we facilitate that way on your guys' day. You're kind of just focusing on each other, and your family can as well. And we're taking care of moving everything and getting it all set up. We offer 2 nights in our one of our suites called our Sequoia Suite. And so I'm in one of our suites actually right now. You can't see too much of it, but we have some pictures online, and there'll be some pictures as it's going through. And so that's what we kind of use as the bridal suite. So a lot of times one of the people in the wedding couple will stay the night before with their friends or family or something like that, or both of them stay. And then it's used as a suite to get ready in all the day of. And then they go get married and then come back to the suite. And so that makes it really nice. Nobody's worrying about traveling or transporting things. Obviously, there's a lot of gifts and multiple clothes and shoes and everything, and you have something here on site that's kind of yours, and you don't have to worry about getting out of it a certain time because you're staying there. We also facilitate all the bars, alcohol setup. We have all the servers. We sit with you, choose what alcoholic beverages you want, what non-alcoholic beverages, and all that kind of stuff, all the glassware. So that's super nice as well. It's just one less thing that you guys kind of have to think about. And with alcohol comes a lot of liability. And we're able to, as a tasting room, we're used to monitoring how much people are drinking and letting you know how much usually guests will drink. So you're planning for it properly and all that kind of stuff. So that's something definitely unique that comes with having your wedding at a vineyard. So what leaves is what you guys are responsible usually for, like the traditional wedding is, the catering, cake, florals, DJ, photographer. So all those things that you're used to kind of cuts out having to get rentals or having to facilitate that kind of stuff being brought in. So definitely helps a lot. So a lot of people want to ask, kind of what else is going on the venue when your wedding is happening. So since we are a tasting room, we do stay open. However, we have a lot of different spaces on the property that are obviously clearly reserved for the wedding, and kind of helps to separate the day. So we have a couple packages that will close down the tasting room, and so that's definitely an option. We've had some people book that if that's something you're interested in. So we're just super willing to work with you in whatever space that you'd like. The time frame. So we offer a larger time frame than a lot of venues do. You have 10 hours, including setup and takedown. And a lot of that setup and takedown is done by Hummingbird staff, and that doesn't come out of your 10 hours. So because we have neighbors and just being courteous of our space, we have music off by 9:30 and vacated the premise by 10 o'clock. So usually that means at 12 o'clock is when the property is yours to kind of do anything extra after our tables and chairs and everything like that are set up. So a lot of times, whether that's the florist coming in or your caterer showing up and everything like that. So definitely gives you ample time to kind of get everything going. We have the separate the kind of locations that are included is we do a separate ceremony and reception location, and so we have different spaces on the property where they're really close to each other. So if you want that super intimate feeling of people, you know, not walking all the way across the grounds and everything like that, or if you'd rather have it be, you know, once they're showing up to your ceremony, they have no idea what the reception's even going to look like, and it creates like a brand new experience where they walk in and they're so excited. There's new florals, there's new centerpieces, all that kind of stuff. So we can definitely operate both ways. As far as parking goes, so it's almost a 50-acre property, and while 18 acres of those are planted grapes that we harvest for our wine, we also have 10 acres that we really don't use much of except for parking. So that's a big question a lot of people have, is they don't want their guests to have to worry about parking, and it's definitely taken care of. We have plenty of room, and we even have options for shuttles depending on where on the property you get married. If you don't want your guests having to walk at all, we can shuttle people the whole night, and we've done that for some of our own events, and it ends up working out really good. So a lot of people want to know about the rehearsal dinner and the rehearsal of the ceremony. And so we want, you know, your day to go as seamless as possible and you not have to be running around the morning of. So we offer the rehearsal ceremony the night before. So you get 2 hours on our property in the ceremony location. And we'll have the arch there and a couple chairs at least set up so you can see where the aisle would be and where the front row is. So that way you guys can come in, practice all that. And then because we're just 2 miles outside of Jacksonville, a lot of people will go there and just in Jacksonville have their rehearsal dinner. Or if you want to do it on site, you know, if you have people staying in our suites and you just want it to be kind of a whole weekend event, then we definitely can coordinate that as well and get you a space and figure out something that we can have your rehearsal dinner here as well. So when it comes to the, you know, beer, wine, all that kind of stuff, the fun stuff of the wedding, so we can facilitate beer, wine, cider, champagne, all that kind of stuff. And then if you guys want hard alcohol, then it's a separate vendor that you bring in. So there's quite a few different vendors in the area that can take care of that kind of stuff, that can bring it in and have all the correct licensing, serving, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're wanting to just stick with the beer and wine, all that kind of stuff, then we just take care of that here in-house. And we offer the option, so our wine is used, but then you can bring in outside beers and champagnes if you guys have a favorite beer. We use Walkabout, but some people come in and they're like, you know, I love Caldera and I want to bring in that one specifically. And so we can definitely work with that. So because we are primarily an outdoor venue, we obviously our spaces are outside. So big question is always, what if it's a day like today where people have mentioned the thunder and it's definitely raining outside right now? And in that case, we bring in a tent. And so for our grand opening, which we did in the middle of September, which a lot of brides come in and say, September is the perfect weather. This is exactly the date I want to get it. With Oregon, you never know what you're going to get. So we ended up renting a tent. There was only like 48 hours notice from when the forecast changed, and we worked with Kelly at Party Place, who is phenomenal, and she got the tent out here. We got it set up. We had to have tarps down because the rain was like trying to flood the space, and it ended up being a lovely evening. We had like over 250 people here in a span of like 3 hours. So it ended up being a super successful night. And we took care of, obviously it was my event, so it was my stress, but if it was your event, it still would be my stress. So I would be coordinating all that, working with the tent company, getting all that delivery. So that makes it super nice on you guys. You don't have to worry about the stress of if that comes down to it. We're here to help you for that. And then the last question that I always usually end with is, what does it take to reserve my date? So All of my information is on our website, hummingbirdestate.com. And so you can email me or you can call me and we can set up a tour. And then after we tour, I hold your date for 7 days. And so that gives you time to think it over. It's obviously a huge decision and I don't want anybody to commit to something if they're not 100% sure. And so it gives you time. I'll hold the date. And then when you decide you do want to move forward, we just take 50% down and then we start start the process. And we actually work with a planner, Erica, who you guys met earlier, for wedding and events. And so because we're a brand new venue and we just want to make your day, as I've said many times, as seamless as possible, we contract 4 hours of her time. So we meet with me and her and the wedding couple a couple times prior to the wedding, and she develops a rough day of timeline for somebody else to follow because she's not there the day of with one of our packages. But you can obviously book more time with her and then she can come. And a lot of our brides have decided to do that, and it works really well because obviously we have a really great working relationship and we can kind of get to all work together and make your day super great. So if that's something that you're interested in from the pictures, you think Hummingbird Estate would be a good place for you, then we would love to have you up here. On days like today, it's kind of sad and gloomy outside, but we're a tasting room. So you guys can come up. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, taste some wines, take a look at your own pace without the stress of a tour at first, and we'd be happy to have you. So unless there's any questions, oh, thanks, Jade. Yeah, we have a lot of photographers come up here and do shoots as well, which we love to have. So definitely there's a lot of pictures of our property out there. Oh, thanks, Kelsey. Everybody's so sweet. Do we have any questions at all?
Yeah, any questions? I think you did a great job highlighting everything. I just want to make it clear that you can hire out other alcohol services. That is okay. I know some venues, the legality isn't there. So that's a really awesome highlight. Personally, I just love beer and wine at a wedding, but if you wanted mixed cocktails, then you could do that.
Yeah, and we do a lot of fun things. We're working on making a sangria with one of our wines. And so we do a lot of mixing it up for people that don't just like traditional beer and wine, working with what we've got. So those are definitely options as well.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited. And I know we have a styled shoot there eventually once all this is over. I'm really excited to shoot there. So
yeah,
thank you so much for hopping on. Yeah, I don't see any questions. So
perfect.
Yeah,
great.
Thank you, Kayla. Okay, so now we're on to Brennan. Let's see if she is hopping on. So this is Brennan Hamren. She is you kind of do family weddings, portraits, you do a lot of stuff, and she's located also here in the Valley. And yeah, do you want to do a little introduction of yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, I do all sorts of photography, newborns, family, elopements, wedding. And I love weddings particularly just because it's such a privilege to be able to share in one of the most important and special days of your life. So that's always just really a privilege to be a part of that. And my goal and kind of my style is pretty natural. I like timeless photos that won't go out of style years down the road. And so that's what I strive for when I shoot. And I actually studied photography. So I got my bachelor's in 2012, and that is the same year that I launched my photography business. So I've been shooting professionally for about 8 years. So sorry, I'm super nervous. I'm usually on the other side of the camera, so bear with me. But when the first step that I take when meeting potential brides is getting together with you and the groom, if you want, and kind of getting to know you, because I think it's super important to pick a photographer who meshes with you and who you get along with. Because we are going to be there every second of your wedding day. So I think it's really important that we mesh. And so I think meeting ahead of time is key. And when I meet with my brides, if they decide to book, I have a questionnaire that I have them fill out. And that kind of helps us be on the same page on the wedding day. Like that way I know what shots are the most important to you, what things you just don't really care about and we can skip. So yeah, and I am going to go over my wedding timeline, which I realize you've heard from several photographers already, and they've kind of done the same thing. So I'll just kind of breeze through it quickly and I won't belabor it, but I don't know if you could get my slideshow up for this part. Okay. And you can skip one more ahead, sorry. Okay, so, and then the next shot, perfect. So I start with dress shots, obviously, right when I arrive. And this is a general timeline. So obviously when I meet with my brides and we kind of have that questionnaire, we go over what they want. So not all brides want all the same things, but this is just kind of a general outline. And I usually work with whoever your wedding planner is on coming up with a timeline for photography that kind of fits in with your timeline of the day. And if you don't have a wedding planner, then oftentimes I will just work with you and we can come up with a timeline together. So I start, like I said, with the dress shoots, and then I spend about 30 minutes getting ready photos if that's something you're interested in. So I do the bride getting in her dress, kind of the wrap up of her getting ready. And then we'll move on to the brides and grooms portraits, which I also spend about 30 minutes on. So the bride by herself, the groom by himself, and the bridesmaids and the groomsmen together. At that point, if you want a first look, we will move into that. Otherwise, and I'll spend about 30 minutes on a first look. And then while you guys kind of rest and collect yourselves before your wedding, I will go around and get detail shots of elements that you want to remember, or your ceremony or reception area, cake, all that stuff. And then we move into the ceremony. So immediately after the ceremony, I always do family before they run off, start drinking, any of that stuff. So we do the family first, and that takes about 15 minutes, maybe 20, depending on how big your family is. And then we do the bridal party for the same reason. That way everyone else can kind of run free and we can just focus on bridal portraits. So after all that, then we work in the bride and groom portraits for about 30 minutes, and then move into the reception. And during the reception, there's a lot of variation because everybody does different things. So that's, again, where our questionnaire and our timeline comes into play. So we know what you want, if you're doing a bouquet toss or toast, if you want all that. And some brides have me stay until the very end, and some just have me capture the things that are important to them and then cut out. So that's basically what I have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, or if you think of them later, you can always email or text me. So, and I am also running a special. If you mention the bridal talk, I will give you a free engagement shoot with your wedding if you book your wedding. So
Yay, that's amazing. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about engagement shoots, so that answers that question. You are gonna, so anybody that messages you will get a free engagement shoot.
Yes.
If they mention, okay, awesome. Yeah, I think like you answered a lot of the questions I had written down for you as far as like your wedding day process and kind of how you manage that. So I think that's great. And I love that you're doing that giveaway. Definitely take her up on that, everybody. And then, yeah, does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, well, I think that was super efficient. Thank you so much, Brennan.
Thank you.
And we are going to move shortly to Alicia Fields, if she's here. She is a Oh, she is here. Awesome. So
No.
Alicia is a travel agent here in Oregon who not only offers, you guys, this is so huge. So listen up. She not only offers free full service travel coordination, but she has already traveled the world and experienced everything for herself, unlike other travel agents who kind of just plug companies that they maybe have never worked with or not places they've never seen. So this is super huge that she's actually experienced everything that she's going to help get you into. So I'm going to let you take it away, Alicia, and kind of tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Sounds great. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, Alicia Fields. So my husband and I, Rick Fields, we own and operate our home-based travel agency out of Albany, Oregon. Been doing this for a very, very long time. My personal specialty and focus is on honeymoons, destination weddings, bachelorette parties, and I work most of the bridal shows throughout the entire state of Oregon. So some of you, if you've been there, you've seen me or you will see me. If we can go ahead and load, there we go, load the slideshow. Perfect, thank you. So all of my contact information is on this screen. I want to start out by saying most of you, as far as the bride and grooms, are doing a lot of wedding planning. The honeymoons, bachelorette parties, destination weddings sometimes will be put on the back burner for a while. I highly encourage you, keep that in the forefront of your mind up front, because unlike a lot of wedding venues and different vendors, for example, you'll have to pay in full up front, not with your honeymoon. So think about that as a way with a very small down payment. You can pay that entire trip out over time. And that's the benefit of having us to work with, is we are super flexible. We coordinate that with you, but we get to the heart and soul of what you want out of your trip and make sure that in the end that you have the perfect honeymoon or bachelorette party. And even if you're looking at a destination wedding. So jot down my contact information here. I also encourage anybody that's interested, put your email address in the comments section. I'm going to capture those and I'll coordinate with you on the side. We have some extra special benefits and perks that we're going to be offering, and it's all based on the type of vacation you end up planning, but there's some huge perks coming your way. So throw your email address in the chat window. Here's a great photo. My husband and I do this together. We have, as I mentioned, been doing it for a very, very long time. The key thing and that I really try to focus on is, what is the best decision for your buying needs? What's your budget? We spend a lot of time just getting to know you and your interests and where you've been and where you want to go. Obviously, we have a pretty big issue with the travel restriction right now in most of the world. I want to throw out a very, very special offer to anyone on this session. If you have a current trip that's booked, if you have plans that have been canceled, if you sit on hold for hours waiting to get through to specific vendors that you've booked with and you're getting no response, or you're getting pushback or being told, no, we can't refund you, please reach out to me. I cannot tell you how many couples I've stepped in and helped and took over their existing plans, and I fix it for them. So I can make some magic happen and move some miracles when it needs to. So shoot me a note. We, as I mentioned, also, we do specialize in the 4 areas here that you're seeing: honeymoons, destination weddings all over the world, bachelor and bachelorette parties. There's some great group things that we get with some of these functions. So on the honeymoon aspect, here's just a few options I've thrown together that are pretty common and pretty exciting. So we have everything from Sandals Resorts, the all-inclusive adult only, to their sister company beaches, which are family friendly. And we'll have Michael Walsh be speaking on those momentarily. We have honeymoons on cruise ships. We have them in Maui. In the far left corner, it's one of the most unique honeymoons that I've ever coordinated for a couple. And it was in the jungles of the Dominican Republic. It's called Treehouse. You can see the Treehouse resorts there. Really, really fun and exciting. To overwater bungalows in Fiji, in the Caribbean through Sandals. Just unlimited access to all of these ideas. That's the fun part of what I like to do, is to pick your brains and get to know what you're wanting out of your honeymoon. Let's go on to the next slide if we could. So for destination weddings, this one's always a super exciting one. I have the ability, whether I'm coordinating with a destination wedding specialist on site or whether I'm there with you in person, endless opportunities there. Up in the far left-hand corner, you're gonna see an old style barn wedding. That was actually Oak Knoll Acres in Pleasant Hill. That's a picture of my daughter and her husband's wedding that we did a few years back. Absolutely one of the most beautiful venues I've ever seen. And then over to the right upper corner, we have the gorgeous Sandals Over Water Wedding Chapel. And Michael is going to talk about the Sandals specific destination weddings in just a moment. Love the one down in the far left-hand corner. That was actually done in Fiji. And you can see the tribal guests that were invited to this wedding. To Italy, which is beautiful in along the Amalfi coastline down in the lower center. And then Maui. Maui weddings are very, very common. I have a gorgeous place and an absolutely one of the best ministers I've ever worked with. His name is Laki. He's on the island of Maui, and I cannot tell you enough. I have some great videos I'd love to share with you all individually if you're interested to see some of these afterwards. Let's go on to the next one, please. And then bachelor and bachelorette parties. So the most common bachelor and bachelorette parties that I coordinate are either on cruise ships, short little 3 and 4 day cruise ships out of Los Angeles. We do direct flights from Portland or Eugene to get you down there. Las Vegas is a huge one. So if anybody's into the Las Vegas nightlife and casino, to specific, laid back spa days for the females, deep sea fishing trips for the guys on a bachelor party. But the key is, and Nashville, I can't say enough. Nashville is up and running right now. And that seems to be one of the hottest spots to have one of these parties. These days, I'm also seeing a trend that we're having groups combined together instead of doing the his and hers bachelor and bachelorette parties. They're actually having big parties together, which seems to be a very common theme. Let's go on to the next one, please. All right, our website. So our website, and it's on our contact page also, rfields.dreamvacations.com. So this is our personal website. Here you're going to find an endless amount of videos you can watch on destinations. There's also a great literature rack that you can download and forward on to people. In the extra section, take some time when you have a few moments and go through our website. We do have under the quick link section, we have a few highlighted destination trips that we are personally hosting and planning, but it doesn't stop there. I am booking all the way into 2022 currently, and we have some great, super exciting. Some of the clients I work with are we have so much fun booking these. So let's take a look when you have a few moments to go through some of the sites there. You can also reach out to me directly if you have any questions about any of the links there or any of the items you want to see. I have an entire closet full of brochures I would love to send out to you via email or just virtually. So why invest in us? Number one, our services are free. As Hannah mentioned, we do not charge for our services. A lot of the time you're going to find travel agents who charge a processing administration service fee. We don't do that. Our vendors that we coordinate with, such as the cruise lines, such as the mega resorts, they take care of us. I can't tell you enough how important that is. We don't nickel and dime anybody. This is why we're doing this. We're both at retirement age where this is all we do, and we take care of you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I do mean that, and it's not common. I have had the calls at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning from people coming back from international flights, and they're worried they're not going to make that connection. I am up, I'm on it, and I take care of it, and I get one step ahead always. The most important reason to invest in us is that we invest in you. And there's nothing more important than that. You don't need the stress. You don't need the worry. You have enough going on with your weddings happening. Let us take care of the honeymoon, the destination weddings, and all of your pre-planning parties that you need to have. And I think that should be it. What is, throw out any questions that you have. I'm cutting my presentation a little bit short because we have an extremely special guest, Michael Walsh, direct from Sandals Resorts. If you're not familiar with Sandals, It is my preferred go-to getaway for honeymoons and destination weddings. There are 15 resorts in the Caribbean. He's going to go through those and talk endlessly about it. You will never find in your entire life better service, customer service, people that will dote on you hand and foot and take care of you. And it is absolutely stunningly romantic. So if I'd actually like to go ahead and turn it over to Michael at this time, unless anyone has any questions.
Hi, folks. Thanks, Alicia. I appreciate the update. We're going to cruise through a slide presentation here real quick. I know Alicia talked to you a little bit about how everyone is planning their weddings and making all these plans before the wedding, but what about after? What about that honeymoon, those special times that you need? And if you're also looking for a destination wedding, we could do that for you. Weddings are included if you stay 3 nights or more with us. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Folks, I am going to be going so fast, probably as fast as that space shuttle went off today, but that's okay. If you have any questions, please let Alicia know. We can get together again another time and we can have a discussion about it. I could give another presentation. Just let Alicia and Rick know. So next slide, please. Yeah. So Sandals and Beaches Resorts, we are an all-inclusive resort. What does that mean? What does all-inclusive mean? Well, we're 5-star, by the way. 5-star means that we've been rated the best out there, and we have been the best for many, many years. All-inclusive means that you pay one price and everything is taken care of. You don't have to put your hand out for, our employees will never put a hand out for a tip. Tips are included. Water sports are included. Golf is included. You name it, we include it. Can we go to the next slide, please? Maybe it's my slide. Can anybody hear me? There we go. Again, all 5-star inclusions, top of the line products. We have butler service for you. We have, the minute you land at whatever island that you're flying to, everything will be taken care of for you from the airport shuttles to and from the resorts. Next slide, please. That's right, we're on island time. All types of different amenities for you folks. Here we go with water sports. Water sports is an amazing down there. So from sailing to kayaking to stand-up paddle boards, snorkeling, scuba diving is major. If you're a scuba diver, we have all types of stuff down there for you. It's all included, plus your gear. You don't have to take anything with you other than yourselves. Next slide, please. And I know that we are in a beautiful state of Oregon, and there's lots of golfers out there. Sorry. Let's talk a little bit up. There we go. Scuba diving, again, all included. Top-notch boats, the Newton boats, and all of our equipment is all there for you, folks. Next slide. So from volleyball to tennis to pickleball, you name it, we have it there for land sports for you as well. Basketball, all of our resorts have all these amenities. Next slide. And again, I talked a little bit about golf. Golf is amazing. 3 different islands that we have golf at in the Bahamas, St. Lucia, and in Jamaica. Next slide. So if you're looking to get off the resorts, we have a company that can take care of your all-inclusive excursions. One of my favorites is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, when you hike up the Dunn's River Falls. Amazing. Have you ever seen those old postcards where people are holding hands in Jamaica and climbing up a waterfall? That's the Dunn's River Falls, and there'll be people there to take care of you and guide you through that. That's just a touch of it. We have mountain biking, mini tours, bobsledding through the mountains, deep sea fishing, all kinds of different things out there that we can help you with, and Alicia can help you with that as well. Next slide. Also, spa services. There's nothing better than being pampered while you're on vacation. We have top of the line. We've won many awards for all of our spas. We have spas at every destination And these spas, they're not just inside. We can do spa service out on the beach. We can do it overlooking an island. So you name it, we can do it for you. You just let us know, let your butler know, and we'll take care of you. Next slide, please. So here we are talking to a lot of folks about weddings, and I talked to you a little bit early about it before. So weddings are included, are free when you stay 3 nights or more. If you stay 7 nights or more with us, there's a lot more amenities that are your basic package comes with the 3 nights or more. But think about a destination wedding and taking your loved ones down to the Caribbean for a destination wedding. And if you're bringing the little ones, sandals is for adults only, and beaches are for families. We consider that for everyone. So we have beaches resorts all over the place as well. You could partner with and maybe honeymoon at a Sandals and get married at a beaches. No problem, we'll take care of it for you. Next slide, please. I talked a little bit about some incentives that you get on top of the basic package if you say 7 nights are free. This is something that Alicia can help you with. I'm not going to dive into the amounts of money and the things that you can save, but please reach out to Rick and Alicia. They can help you. Next slide. Oh, the food, folks. I know there's a lot of foodies here in Oregon. I live here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm constantly looking for good food. But my goodness, I am pampered when I go down, and I am spoiled when I go down to the Caribbean. I go down quite often. 5-star global dining is amazing for you. We have chefs from all over the world. Next slide. Folks, don't forget, everything is included. All your meals, all your food, all your drinks, everything is included when you pay this one price with us. We do, from farm to the table, we partner with local farmers, and we get our ingredients, our spices, our food right from the local areas. It depends on what island that you're on. You're going to get all types of different spices and so forth. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but global gourmet dining with chefs from all over the world. And then the liquor, the premium spirits, folks. Again, everything is included, and we have top of the line premium spirits for you. Next slide, please. Going from beach parties to happy hours to themed weddings, whatever it is, we have it for you down there. It's always a good time for you to go down there and enjoy it. It's party time down there, but there's lots of seclusion down there for you as well, and we can make that happen for you. Next slide, please. This is a wonderful view of some of our overwater amenities that we have there. Everything is about the water, so let's find the resort that is perfect for you. We're going to dive into a few different resorts now. Next slide. So we have 6 different islands that we have resorts at. Next slide. We're in Jamaica now, 6 different resorts in Jamaica, actually. We're going to start with Montego Bay. Next slide, please. Montego Bay is, we have 2 resorts very close to each other there. And folks, when you hear me talk about 2 different resorts on each island or 3 different resorts or something like that, say you stay at one, you get to play it all. That's why you see the 2 times the fun. We're going to talk about Mo Bay now, what we call Montego Bay. Next slide. Yeah, the beautiful resort of Montego Bay, one of our newest and updated versions, and man, it is amazing. If you've not been to Montego Bay yet, it is the hip spot to be in Jamaica. Lots of liveliness going on there. Beautiful beaches. Next slide. Lots of renovations. Everything is about water and being able to access to the water. Walking right out of your room. The picture on the right is a picture of you. One of our swim up water suites. You just walk right out of your room, swim across your little swim up creek there, and boom, you're on the beach. Next slide, please. A picture of some of the amenities that you get in some of these rooms. Next slide. Some of our famous restaurants at Montego Bay. Next slide. Over the water latitudes, over the water bar. We have many bars all over the resort. And overwater chapel. This is something new that's at most of our resorts now. You can get married with the glass bottom floors right over the water. Next slide. Over the water love nests, we call these. Amazing. So this is at our Sandals Royal Caribbean. Here's some slides of pictures of different amenities that you'll see. Your own pool. You'll be able to walk down into the ocean. Next slide. You can see a glass bottom floor there. A Serenity soaking tub inside. We do have air conditioning inside. And a little bit of food going on here. Spices, restaurants that we have at there. An Indian restaurant, Bombay. Next slide. Okay, now we're going to shoot down to Sandals South Coast. My favorite, off the grid. If you want to get away from everything, this is the place to go. Next slide. As you can see, we have overwater bungalows there. Every room faces the ocean there, folks. Every room. It's all about the water and all about the ocean there at Sandals South Coast. Next slide. Some more over the water bungalows, love nests that we call. Next slide. Again, lots of folks getting married down here. I have a colleague up in Washington that got married down there and was phenomenal. My favorite spot is that spot right on the hammock there at the Latitudes. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a overwater bar there. Next slide, please. Sushi on the sands, bonfires on the sand, just relaxing on the sand. It's all about the water there on the ocean. Next slide. Okay, now we're going to shoot over to Negril. If you don't know anything about Negril, please remember on the west coast of Jamaica, this is the most beautiful sunsets, the 17-mile stretch, white sand beaches. Next slide. Here's a photo of the beautiful beaches, beautiful photo ops there, folks. We've built this resort around the sunsets, the colors that come in during the sunsets. Next slide. You can see some of the yellows and browns that we put in some of these. This is a butler suite here, two-story butler suite. Next slide. Again, lots of restaurants on the water. Next slide. Okay, we're going to shoot over to Ocho Rios now. We have a few different places in Ocho Rios. One thing I want to talk about in Ocho Rios is the fact that we do own a golf course and it's right next to it. All your shuttles and all are all taken care of as well. Lots of golfing in Ocho Rios. Next slide. Beautiful shot of Sandals Ochi Beach. Trendy when you want it and quiet when you want it as well. It's one of our most popular places. The picture on the left here is a love nest, a very quiet and private love nest that we have there. Next slide. Butler service again for you folks, all types of different food. Again, next slide. The rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is my favorite. The rabbit hole is the only speakeasy in the Caribbean. So you got to have a password, and every employee there on the resort knows the password to get in. You just got to be able to talk to that employee. And we're also known for our theme parties in there as well. Again, we do have overwater chapels. Next slide. Sandals Royal Plantation is probably our most regal and ritzy property. It's an all butler suites. Next slide, please. Some of James Bond's famous movies were filmed there. Just very private and seclusion there for you. One of the places, the only places that you'll find a champagne and caviar bar on the right slide there. Next slide. All right, folks, we are going to jump over to the Bahamas real quick. We have two properties in the Bahamas. Next slide. Nassau, Bahamas is home to Sandals Royal Bahamian, a beautiful, very compact resort with its own private island. My best and favorite part of the whole entire resort is the private island. The fact that you have a restaurant out there, a pool, spa services, and I could spend the whole day out there doing things. This is just a picture of our butler taking care of some folks in their suites. Next slide. Some theme parties that we have at night, restaurants over the water. Next slide, please. And lots to do. Here we are in Sandals Emerald Bay, which is in the beautiful island of Great Exumas. Beautiful beaches, turquoise waters. Next slide. Lots of different pools and so forth. It's a very popular destination for weddings and honeymoons. Next slide. Some more pictures of our different suites. Next slide. Again, with our dining, you'll see a theme, folks. We have the Jerk Shack at all of our resorts there. And the Jerk Shack is a Jamaican Caribbean cuisine. And that's at all of our resorts. It's our signature restaurant. Next slide, thank you. And a Greg Norman golf course in the Great Exumas. Lots of golf going on there, tournaments and so forth. You'll see them on TV. Greg Norman designed this. We partner with Greg Norman, and that golf course is there for you. Next slide, please. Wonderful. So now Eastern Caribbean, we're going to cruise over it real quick. Next. Okay, Antigua. Antigua is amazing for you nature lovers. Beautiful beaches, beautiful cliff scenes as well. Beaches, excuse me, different types of pools for you, pool bars. Next slide, please. We're known for our rendezvous love nests there. As you can see on the left, you have your own private pools, your own rendezvous, secluded, love nests. And inside there is what you can see, what you'll find inside. Once again, global gourmet dining on the beach. Next slide. Okay, St. Lucia. Folks, St. Lucia is known as the Hawaiian island of the Caribbean. You can see because of its topography and what's going on there. We have golf, 2 different golf courses in St. Lucia as well. Keep going, next slide. Very secluded, beautiful views. We have cliff views, we have beach properties right down on the beach, but this one's really known for its views up on the cliffs. Next slide. And overwater bungalows. We've seen those before. Next slide. 5-star global gourmet dining as well. Next slide. And of course, we always have the butler service there for you. Plenty of diving to do as well. Serenity soaking tubs. Look at that view, folks. Imagine opening up your door on the right there and seeing that view from having a pool right out by your bedroom, and also having that view. It's amazing with a butler service. Next slide. We are at Sandals Le Talk now. Again, Sandals Le Talk is a second of the 3 in St. Lucia. Next slide. Lots of activities and fun. Next slide. I promise, folks, we are almost done here. And then Sandals Halcyon is my favorite. It's very intimate to the beach. It's down closer, more laid back on the beach area. Next slide. This is a typical love nest that you would see in Halcyon, very close to the ocean. And again, with global gourmet dining. Next slide. Grenada. Grenada is known as the Spice Island. And if anybody knows anything about Grenada, you'll know that this is where nutmeg comes from, and they're known for their chocolate as well. So lots of great food coming out of Grenada. If you're foodies, again, this is the place you want to go to. Next slide. All different types of pools there for you, all types of fun. Next slide. Again, Sandals Grenada with that beautiful view. Global gourmet dining, Butch's Steakhouse. You need reservations. This is one of the few restaurants that you need reservations at, but that's a great place to eat at. All right, we're shooting down to our last island, which is Barbados. 2 times the fun, because we have 2 different resorts right next to each other. We have Sandals Barbados, and right next to it is Royal Barbados. This is where you want to go if you are a nature lover. If you're into hiking and you want to get out and about off the resort, not that the other islands aren't, but this is one of the key places to go to as well, Sandals Barbados. Again, with the Butler Suites. Next slide. Wonderful Bombay Club there. Butch's Chop House. We're known for our infinity pools on rooftops, rooftop restaurants, rooftop bars, rooftop pools at Sandals Royal Barbados. Next one. There you can see our infinity pool. This is one of our newest resorts. And again, folks, Sandals Royal Barbados and Sandals Barbados are right next door to each other. Walk right between them. Stay at one, play at 2. Another shot of our different love nests that we have there. Next slide. And we actually have the only bowling alley in Barbados as well. This is the American Tavern, which is a American sports bar. Next slide. Rooftop restaurants. Next slide. And I can't fail to mention the fact that, again, if you want to bring the family with you, we can do weddings and we can do all types of stuff at beaches as well. Rick and Alicia can help you with all that information. We are running some specials and promotions. Alicia will be able to help you with all of that. She's great at finding the best value for you. And I want to say that that is going to be it. Next slide. I appreciate you guys going through the light of speed with me and enjoying the presentation. Again, if Alicia and if you get in touch with Alicia, we can certainly spend a lot more time with you and get a little bit more intimate with any resort that you have any information or want any information about. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Great job. And I've captured a few of your emails. Definitely do reach out. As Michael mentioned, there are some behind the scenes specials. It all depends on what type of ultimate vacation we do, but take advantage of those perks. Anybody who's attended this session, I'm going to be working with you. If you end up booking a sandals or a beaches honeymoon or destination wedding, we have some extra special goodies for you. So we'll chat offline about that. And thank you all very much.
Thank you guys so much for showing us all of those beautiful resorts. I'm craving some travel right now for sure. I appreciate you guys so much for participating in Bridal Talk. Up next, we have the married mixologists. You'll see a familiar face here. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Gosh, these are awesome. Woo, that was giving us some serious FOMO. All those beach pictures. It is thunder and lightning showers today in Oregon, so we were like, feel like we're missing out. Those beaches looked amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're at the end. We are the last vendors, you guys, and we are here to take you out with a bang, and we're going to show you two of our favorite wedding day cocktails that are kind of classics, but with a twist. But oh, by the way, this is my husband, Kevin. He is the other half of the Married Mixologists. And what we do is create custom wedding cocktails. We'll do a consultation with you very similar to this. It's going to be virtual, especially due to COVID. But we're going to create a custom wedding cocktail for you and your boo. And we'll print up a recipe card. I'll bring this closer to the camera so you guys can see. There. It's foiled, so it's a little shimmery. And it'll come with your custom recipe on it. And then you can hang it at your home bar and have your recipe on there forever. So without further ado, with every Married Mixologist tutorial video, we always start with a shot. Cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. That was strong. Yes, let's get down, Jade. Okay, so, I want to sip of this. First things first, we're going to start off with what we like to think is like a classic summery bridal cocktail. Do you want to take it away, baby?
Yeah, so this is just kind of a riff off of a French 75. We're going to start off with Wild Roots Northwest Gin. You're going to do 2 ounces per cocktail in this. The cool thing about this is you can batch all the ingredients out ahead of time and just add the champagne at the end. Makes for quick, easy cocktails during a wedding. Next, an ounce of lemon juice per cocktail. So we're doing 2 ounces. And then a ½ ounce pêche de vin. It's kind of like a peach cordial. Really delicious. Tastes like a peach cobbler. ½ ounce per cocktail.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to DM me or like Alicia was doing, put your email in the comments below. We will email you these recipes.
Throw some ice in your shaker and mix this up.
You have to damn play your shaking.
Yeah.
That's our Okay, so part of why we love this cocktail the morning of the wedding as opposed to a mimosa is it's actually lighter in color. So if you happen to spill a little bit on your dress, it's not going to really stain like orange juice or something with a different color to it. And then I'm topping it with
Sure.
Right. So then we're going to top with the lemon peel and then top it off with champagne. So you're still getting the bubblies, you're still getting that light, refreshing drink, but it's just going to be a little bit even lighter than a mimosa. And I love, especially for summer weddings, this is so refreshing.
You put the lemon peel in before so that the cocktail doesn't bubble over too crazy.
So this is kind of, if you can see how clear that is, which is what I mean, like a mimosa has that orange color to it and it's going to stain your dress. This won't. Not as badly, at least. So cheers, you guys. Yum. Ingrid, do we have that slide with that recipe on it?
Yes, let me find that. That looks amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's like peachy and lemony. It's so good.
I'm actually gonna watch the replay and make
Okay,
that.
so that's the one we just did. And then go ahead and go to the second slide. We're going to do kind of what we like to call a quintessential groom's cocktail, which is a classic, and it's called the Manhattan. Do you want to go ahead? I've been talking all day.
All right. So Manhattans are pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and extremely delicious. So we're going to start off with 2 ounces per cocktail of rye whiskey. You can also use bourbon if that's what you got. Then 1 ounce per cocktail sweet vermouth. We're using Martini Rossi. Great bang for your buck is Dolan. 1 ounce per cocktail, 2 ounces for the 2 of them.
This is, again, another cocktail that's so easy to make in bulk. And then all your groomsmen have to do is pour it over ice, and they have a cocktail, instant cocktail.
2 dashes orange bitters. If you don't have orange bitters and only have Angostura, that's fine. I use a mix of both, but 2 dashes per cocktail orange bitters. And then 4 dashes per cocktail Angostura bitters. Now you can just batch that as is. We're going to stir it over ice and strain it into like a martini glass. But on a wedding day when a ton of stuff's going on, just pour it over ice and drink it. It's going to be delicious.
The reason you stir it, and you'll stir it for about 30-ish seconds, is to dilute it a little bit. So if you are batching this out in bulk beforehand, just for ease, you'll probably want to still swirl it around in some ice, just in your glass as you sip it, just to dilute it a little bit so you're not sipping on straight liquor. Cami says your hair looks great today.
Oh, thanks, Cami.
Cami's our #1 fan. Do you have a knife?
Oh, I was just going to. So for garnishing, take an orange peel, just a little strip, and just kind of squeeze some of the oils out over the top of the cocktail.
Here, I'll do it closer so people can see it.
It's going to just give it some aromatics and make it taste really citrusy and delicious.
I don't know if you could see like the spritz, but if you're ever, as a kid, if you ever spritzed oils from a citrus rind onto a lighter to make it light up, that's pretty much the same motion you're going to do.
And then just drop that orange peel in the drink.
And cheers
And
again.
enjoy. It's going to be delicious.
And if you don't, oh my gosh, that's so good. You did a really good one, babe. If you don't want to do stemmed wear, because, you know, wedding days are busy, lots of hustle and bustle, people knocking things over, serve these in a bucket glass, and that's going to be totally fine. Just those short little glass buckets. So good. Okay, so let's bring up those other slides. So yeah, custom cocktail consultations. This is such a fun way that we can serve you guys for your wedding day. And we can either, like we just showed you, kind of consult with you based on your flavor profile, what you like, what you don't like in a cocktail. We'll come up with exactly what you like. We'll come up with 3 options for you that you can kind of choose from. We can either do something that, like we just showed you, you will be enjoying before your wedding day with your wedding party, or we can create a cocktail that you'll serve your guests during cocktail hour. And that's again where, here, give me the bees knees. Where we'll have, sorry guys, where we'll have these recipe cards where you can hang them at your reception space, and they're gonna have the recipe of what your guests are drinking, and you get to keep this for your house. And I always say, like, there's only a couple decor items that I kept from our personal wedding day, and this would have been one of them. You can hang this up in your kitchen, in your lounge, anywhere like that. So you definitely, these are such a fun way to kind of like remember something about your wedding day that's attractive and that you'll want to keep on your walls forever. And then let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so those are some of the examples. We're giving you guys all 20% off on our shop using code Bridal Talk. There are some pre-made recipe cards on there that you can grab, or if you have 2 cocktails in mind that you know for sure these are our wedding day cocktails, we can print those on a recipe card for you. But you can also use 20% off to get your custom cocktail consultation with the code Bridal Talk. So that's kind of just exclusive for you guys. And then we'll go, yeah, so definitely reach out to us. If you want to put your emails in the comments, I'll go grab those. And I will send these recipe cards over to you, just the digital ones, so you can reference back and kind of continue to make them for your wedding day. But we would love to hear from you guys and work with some of you guys and get you some custom cocktails that you're actually going to love drinking on your wedding day. Does anyone have any questions? Yum. Yeah, it is. I really, really wish we could be drinking this with you guys in person.
Yay! Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you for doing this. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I'm going to run back to my computer to close off. Does that sound good?
Oh, yes, you'll have to.
Or no, I'll just use the phone. I'll just
Because
flip it.
I did that screen from the studio.
There we go. Perfect.
Yay!
Yeah, so thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Thank you for all the vendors who just shared your expertise today. It was so fun.
Such a blast. And thanks for all the awesome questions. You guys were great. Be sure to watch that replay. You can still enter giveaways, and I'm sure all those offers will still be available to you as well.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I know, from speaking for myself, as long as you even watch the replay and you want to use the discount codes for either the Married Mixologist or Hannah B Photography, those are good for life, for 2020 on, for weddings, as long as you watch this replay.
Awesome.
Yes.
So guys, you all have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. And we will see you soon.
See you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.